Nashville, baby. Congrats. This is your 10th broadcast. Nashville. And that's it, folks. The intro.
We're live.
Live here via Facebook. Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. And thank you to the fans that have been here for the past 10 weeks. I'm just trying to think it through.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
I'm nervous because we're next to a legend here.
A Nashville legend.
A Nashville legend. This is status.
Where?
This is status right here in between this Matt and Adam
I only
sandwich.
see 3 people.
You are the meat to this Matt and Adam sandwich.
Uh-oh, that wasn't part of the deal.
That's all right. We just try to let you know. Well, I got to make sure we mute this before it kicks off on its own. Okay, cool. No sound. Good.
Boom. Chris Cobb, ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
has joined us in the Westwood Avenue studios.
That wasn't part of the deal.
Every time.
It
I
didn't work.
tried.
You tried to beat it.
Oh, you know what? I think we beat it. It was just the monitors. I think we only heard it. We'll find out
Okay.
later.
How's it going, buddy?
Very well.
Thanks for coming out and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
For our 10th episode.
I love it, man. I was so excited. I was sitting in a Jack's, the fast food chain from Birmingham, Alabama, outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, when I saw a phone call from Matt, and I said, shit, something must be wrong. Why is Matt calling me on a Saturday afternoon?
Just wanted to hang out, man.
And it was great. It
Just
was
wanted to
nothing
hang
was
out.
wrong. I was like, yeah.
We want you to come hang out and have a good time with
I
us.
said, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad. I'm sorry that I struck fear and panic possibly into your trip. But what were you going down south for? I know what you're going down south for. Tell everyone else here.
We went to Atlanta to see Radiohead over the weekend. Yep,
That's
Fantastic.
it was fantastic.
about one of the only reasons to go to Atlanta. No offense, Atlanta.
But he offended
I
some Atlanteans.
I don't care. I don't want to go back.
How was the show?
Show was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah, it was really, really good.
What venue?
Phillips Arena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't been in a long time. That's a crazy place.
Phillips Arena. I think I saw Dave Matthews there about 11 years ago.
Oh, well, so there's
Is that the one that's connected to the downtown square, like with all the Turner, like all the?
That was the Omni, right?
No. Downtown in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Omni?
You got me.
Yeah.
All I remember is one whole side of that arena is suites. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
I think I saw
like
Tool
it's a
there.
whole wall of suites. It's
Yeah.
nuts. I'd never seen one like that. You know,
Yeah.
most of the time you got your bowl and you're seating on both sides. So this is one whole side is just from floor to ceiling, like I don't know, 4 or 5 stories
Wow.
of suites, just boxes. Boom, boom, boom.
That's a lot of tickets. A lot of money.
Well,
That's
that
right.
has
That's
to be
exactly
about
that's
money.
a lot of
that
money
has
right
to,
there.
So
That's
that's probably a product from everything, the boom that it just had. You know, not even a decade ago, or about a decade ago.
It's gotta be the Hawks, right? I mean, that's all
That's
about.
all- yeah, of
all
course.
about the Hawks,
'Cause
right?
that's
Is that where they
everyone-
play?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I guess. I mean,
I have no idea.
well, that's definitely
Because
where they
they're
play.
because
but-
they're obviously the Chicago Bulls of our time right now.
Well, are
I know
they?
nothing about basketball, but I know they're not. I know they're not.
don't
So I know they're not.
Yeah, I don't sports.
I guess wild guess, but I know they're not.
It's hard enough for me to keep up with our Nashville teams.
They could be They
let
could be
alone-
They could be the best.
The Hawks.
Yeah.
Predators are winning right now. Speaking of Nashville teams,
They're holding on.
They're holding on.
are those notices still going to come?
They're
up?
gonna keep coming up.
Okay, good.
We
All
got the little monitor viewfinder right here for us, and it always shoots up. So either we're gonna find out if
Who's watching and who's not.
I was about to make a bad joke.
Santa Claus is always watching.
We can find out who's bombing, whether it's the Preds or if it's the U.S. But yeah,
We know who it is.
unfortunate. But fortunately, we have ways to distract some minds right now
With beer and coffee.
with
and
beer, coffee, and questions
and
about
questions.
Nashville
And Gardettos.
And Gardettos. What kind of Gardettos we got going on here?
It's Italian something. Italian recipe.
These are all important questions.
Yeah.
Important things.
Well, give them
Can I-
a little background on.
Let's
on-
do a little
on
intro
Chris.
right here.
Yeah,
Right here, we've got one of-
introduce everybody to who Chris is.
We got one of
Why he's here.
Nashville's adored entrepreneurs here in town.
Aw.
Let's talk venues first. Marathon Music Works, Exit In, William Collier's, The Hurry Back. You've had your hand in multiple promotion companies that have done amazing events here, from Golden Squid
Whoa.
to Sellout Presents.
Whoa. Taking it back.
I mean, I'm telling but again, you got to be a part of a whole lot of great things. You've been instrumental in Live on the Green, tons of Lightning 100 events when it comes to cross collaboration with them from either the block parties or Live on the Green. You've worked Dancing in the District.
Ooh.
You've worked.
Fun.
I'm trying to think. I got to hold. Let me see. I got to go to my list now. That was at least off.
That's
the
a pretty
top of
good
my head.
list. But I mean, you've been
caught most of
you
it.
have been
City Hall.
at the
City Hall.
center
City Hall.
of the music scene in this town for over 10 years, right?
I don't know about the center, but yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
no,
okay,
you've been.
10
I
year-
mean,
over 10 years ago, continuing on that, over 10 years ago, probably about 12, when I came to town, actually to National Proper to come play music and do things, I remember going up to Barton Herberson up at NSAI, talking to him for a little bit about what do I need to be doing in this town to become a part of this town, a part of playing. He's like, first thing he told me, you need to go see Chris Cobb at Exit In. Plain and simple.
Yep.
That was one of my first, pieces of advice when I moved here to Nashville, and honestly, it has been the best advice that was ever given to me.
What
when
year
I,
was that?
2003 or 4.
Yeah.
you've been promoting shows. Well, I mean, close to 20 years then, huh?
No, well, I guess 2000 and
Helicopters. They heard us talking about.
Oh man, that's ominous.
that's awesome. Does that happen a lot here?
We get it's either air conditioning units, thunderstorms, now helicopters. We always have ambience going on, but
Yeah.
it's all good.
I like
It's
the
just
helicopter.
buddies having a conversation, but we're doing it in a really far out location here. So, but it's Westwood Avenue.
Yeah.
I think 01 officially.
Is when you started doing.
I guess like
When did you start working at Exit In?
2003.
Because I think when I came in and saw you,
Excuse me.
I mean,
Guar was actually loading in when I came in to see you, which was perfect because that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember because the thing is, I just walked into the back.
Was the tour manager screaming at me?
You were in that back office that was still in there where you walked into, because I remember just walking up into the thing, and it was one of those first things where the front door was locked, but it was like at 3:00 in the afternoon. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm just going to walk in the back.
Good
And so
memories.
I walked in the back, and there you were, just on the computer. But the cool thing is you gave me the time of day. You gave me
I
that.
said, sir, it's 3:00. We're not open yet.
That's exactly what you did.
go
That's
across
very
the street
good.
if you want a beer.
Touche.
Gold Rush.
Touche. That's Gold Rush. That's probably where I could have found you if you weren't there. But you gave me an opportunity, and you gave me more after that, and I'm grateful for that. I know there's a lot of people musicians in this town that are very grateful for the opportunities you gave them. So I mean,
I hope so, man. It's been a lot of fun.
When did
It's been a lot of fun.
But
I like being a cog in the wheel.
When you first started at Exit In, were you just handling booking there, or what were you?
So, I started from quote unquote, I guess, promoting shows,
Right.
on my own. Kind of fell backwards into that after that thing at Jackson's that we did, Village Vibes. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Yep, I think I played one.
Probably. Oh yeah, you did play one.
I've probably played one of them.
Actually,
He
I think
booked
so.
it.
with Mile 8, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then
So you would just book a show at the Exit In, like you would.
Yeah.
You'd say, "I've got a band, I'm gonna bring them in and book
Right.
the show," and then you were responsible for the ticket sales and all that kind of stuff.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I started. So then there was a couple of years of that, and then the guys who owned the club at the time, Rick Wetzel, it was Rick and Eric, two guys, but Rick was like, "Hey, I think we might have a job for you," and I was like, "Ta-da!
all right.
I've
Okay.
arrived.
you've arrived.
Yeah, I'm gonna get paid. Like I'm gonna get a paycheck."
Yeah. Nice.
And so so then when I got hired, it was book the club, but it was I wasn't do everything because there's definitely other people who helped to make a lot of things go, but it was a lot of time at Exeter. I pretty much lived at Exeter.
Yeah.
For a good 3 years.
And was
almost killed me.
because you went to Belmont.
I did.
Had you graduated at this point?
Yeah, so this was like I graduated and then I just kind of like did my own thing for maybe 2.5 years. I was living in a basement apartment on Blair, like eating canned beans for like 2 years, literally. I look back and I miss it, other than the cave crickets and the flooding.
That's a Tennessee badge of honor if you've lived in a place, which most people have in Tennessee with cave crickets.
I've lived in several places with cave crickets. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever lived anywhere with cave crickets, but I definitely lived somewhere with a wasp infestation.
I've had both.
Multiple times. I was living in some crappy apartment, and we actually had a fireplace in this apartment, which was kind of weird. But like, this wasp had built a nest in the fireplace, and I mean, it was nothing to come home and there'd be like 10 wasps in our. I mean, we just had rolled up magazines like duct taped together all over the place, just ready to
arms
go,
and ready.
Yeah, and they would, we killed them. They came back. It was a nightmare.
I'd rather have the cave crickets.
Yeah, right.
What's the worst infestation you've ever had to deal with?
Oh, come on. You know the answer. You're baiting me now.
Am I baiting you?
You never heard this story?
I'm about to. Maybe I did.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I have an infestation story. So, went on a camping trip. This was maybe 2.5 years ago. Went to the plateau. Decent little spot, I suppose. Went on a hike with the dog, just me and the dog. Going on a little hike, like first afternoon. And get back, maybe like 45 minutes. And I'm sitting outside, and I'm like, man, what is on my leg? I'm like scratching my legs, And I look down, and I'm like, man, what is going on down there? Covered in seed ticks.
Ugh.
No, I did not hear this.
You haven't heard the story? This is only the beginning. This isn't good. This isn't good content.
Let's
you
go.
guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
So basically, you had an infestation of ticks, seed ticks. Did you take them home with you?
Yes.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. So, should we change the subject, or do you want to hear this
go back
out?
to talking about the X-Men.
I'll tell you the story.
I mean,
it's not a good story, but I'll tell it. So here,
I asked the
quick.
question. Let's hear the abridged version. I
I'll
asked the
make it
question.
quick.
I guess, what's your infestation story? I wasn't expecting self-infestation, but go for. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
I asked for it.
Here you go, as quick as I can. Hot shower. Try to scrape the ticks off. I have hundreds of these things embedded in my legs. By the time I realize what's going on.
Oh my god!
No.
Get most of them off. Day ends. Wrap it up. Move into day 2. Get up. More ticks. Dog. Covered in ticks.
Oh no!
Bail on the camping trip. Go home. It's over. Psst, we're out.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Roll to the house. Ticks off. Trying to get the ticks off. I think I've got them mostly off of me. Dog with like the shampoos and the treatments and all that jazz in the yard. Think we got it like all sort of like literally like throwing clothes away.
Right.
Like trying to get rid of everything. And so next day, wake up. What are those little like black dots in the bed sheets? Full disclosure, dog sleeps in the bed. 70-pound lab in the bed. Bad stuff. So what are those little things? So here's what happens, guys. A seed tick is actually it's before it's actually a tick. It's in the nymph stage, like after larva or whatever.
Sure.
It's only got 4 legs.
Okay.
It
Baby ticks.
Basically, yeah, it's a
baby
It's a
ticks.
sweet little baby tick. It has to find a host. That's the first thing it does in this phase. Finds a host, it feeds, and then it drops from the host. It sprouts 2 more legs, up to 6, and it becomes a full-blown tick.
Oh god damn!
Hundreds of them. Dropped off the dog. We didn't get them. Hundreds of them in the house. Little guys,
I did not
sprouting
hear this
legs.
story.
Oh my god!
Ready to party.
So
And that's
many
Tennessee,
people just got
folks.
the heebie-jeebies big time. Like that is.
That's a good story. It's a terrible story,
You
but it's
should
a
have
good
seen
one.
Felicia.
What'd you do? How'd you get rid of them?
Well, my wife, her head spun around like The Exorcist. and everything.
all the way around.
I mean,
a couple times.
It was full on crisis management. Everything, lots of things got thrown away.
Oh my god.
Yeah, lots of things.
Fortunately, crisis management is what you do best, it seems, or at least what I've seen you deal with. Because shifting back to crisis management.
That was just
but
training.
venue.
That was just training.
But
Do
venue.
you have music for? Do you have something?
Let's
can
do
you
some-
hit a button and make it.
Let's hold on. Let's segue to it. Let's see if I can find a segue for it.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're gonna segue right
Yeah,
to
Christ.
it.
Oh my god, that's insane.
There's my
I mean, I've had
infestation
like
story.
Here's the segue right there.
and back at it.
And so, what's been one of the worst? So again, crisis management. You're a venue owner. Have you ever had a night where you were dealing with one crisis at a venue and then got a call from the other venue?
Having crisis.
Just multiple crises? No.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay,
I-
well,
In other words, if you had
Maybe.
shit hitting multiple fans,
Multiple fans at multiple times. Or been at like live on the green and something like goes down somewhere else.
I'm sure. I don't.
Well, what's been
I can. One thing pops into my mind, and then it's gonna tie somehow all this together. But I was at Marathon with Guar's tour manager. This is 10 years after you're talking about, walking into Guar at Exit In. And he wasn't with Guar, he was with another band. He manages some metal bands. I don't remember. And Talisha, my wife, calls and says that Bob, our son, has lice. So I'm bringing it all, infestations, Guar,
bugs.
and
Wow.
crisis management.
what really
all together.
bugs you on this?
So I said,
episode?
Eddie, the tour manager, I said, can you do me a favor? Can you check me for lice? Which he did. He actually volunteered. I didn't even ask him.
Good for him.
Yeah, so he volunteered to check me for lice. He said, "You're clean, buddy." So then I said, "Man, I got to roll." So I left Marathon, went to Walgreens, got the all
The Rid-X?
yes, took it to the house, gave it to Talisha, and then came back and then settled the show out with Eddie and closed up, and then went home and went back in. So I know that's not what you were looking for.
No, but you know
That's
what? That's
funny.
the best part because it also you're bridging all the segues. We're going through this. So here's
yeah,
here's another segue right here. There you go. So that's the other segue right there. You wear a lot of hats really well, in my opinion. That of venue owner, an operator. When it comes to management and it comes to that, you also do, as far as I'm concerned, an incredible job impacting the community here in Nashville. You do an incredible job as a husband, an incredible job as a father.
Thank you.
All of which I know that you are very quick to respond with. Typically, that you're. To sum it up, you're not perfect. Because you always come across.
I didn't say that.
You're very humble. No, you're very humble. I know you did. Okay, fair enough. But the way we've talked about it in the past and everything is you make it very well aware that you're flawed, but you really just kind of deal with every situation as it comes about, and you handle it from what I see from my perspective with a lot of grace and a lot of where I go, wow, damn, I hope that when I arise to those situations or when those situations come about that I can handle in that way. But as a
Well, thank
father,
you, man.
you got to be hands-on with multiple venues here in town. You've got other ventures that you're already dipping out in to try to, and we'll touch on that a little bit later too. But what do you do to balance everything? Is it just kind of, because I have times when work takes you farther away from your family than you want it to, and then sometimes, but you seem to do a really good job of balancing out and taking trips with your family and being invested there as much as you can, as well as in the community.
Well, I have to exercise. I have to run. I have to go do that. Otherwise, I just build up with stress.
That balances everything out, though.
Well, not everything necessarily, but that's one thing I have to do. And if I stop doing that, then I start to suffer physical repercussions of stress.
Did you run in high school and stuff?
No,
in
I
college?
hate running.
Oh.
I always said I'm only gonna run if someone bigger than me is chasing me. But now I go like 3 times a week. Not, I'm not running marathons. I'm not proving anything. It just helps
Blowing
me.
off steam.
Yeah, it helps me like not think about stuff and get out and clear my head, and I feel a lot better when I do
That's
that.
your
So,
mindfulness exercise.
I guess so. So I got that and drinking beer. I got
If you're there in the moment,
I gotta
Well,
do.
that's
it's practically
gotta
That's
meditation.
a
those
pretty
things.
pretty common theme amongst people who work really hard and have a lot on their plate is exercise.
Yeah, it's necessary for me. I've learned that, and then I don't know, man. I try really hard to be present. It's really hard to do, especially in this day and age. But I try, and it's Talisha is the one who taught me that I had to do this. Is like when I'm at home, I try to be at home. Because I'm not always at home, and when I'm at work, then I try to be at work. And sometimes you gotta take a call and go do this or run off and do that. But I'll try my damnedest to take a day off when I can, or a half day here, or just at night after work when I am at home, be at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put the phone down.
Yep.
So
That's great advice.
So with running those clubs, obviously the time when they're in the hours of operation are nighttime,
Right.
but a lot of like what I would imagine you do is kind of a daytime thing. Like how do you? I mean, how often are you there? Like all day. Like,
not,
like
thankfully
you know,
not
tw-
that
you know.
thankfully not that often anymore. I mean, there were years where I burned the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
and up early, up late, day after day.
So if you're spending the night at the Exit In or Marathon, is it because there's a show going on that you just want to be there for? Or I mean,
Now
if
it
there's
is.
a show going on, like, do you have to be there for it to be running?
No, it probably runs better if I'm not these days.
Right.
Honestly.
That's a good sign of a. That's a good sign of
well,
a
that's
business.
good.
Then.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great, and it's a new thing too. So I'm loving it. It's it took up until less than a year ago. It's probably been 9 months. Up until about 9 months ago, either my business partner Josh or I was at Marathon every time it was open.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
Josh.
no, well,
Ballou.
Josh Ballou. Not every time, because we do a lot of rentals, and there were some wedding receptions and stuff that are lighter weight that didn't require our presence. But it was a good 50 nights a year. I was there for the first 5 years
Wow.
that it was open, and then before that, I mean, we got back to we were talking about Exit In. I mean, dude, I was at Exit In for
All the time.
Yep.
every day, every night, for 3 years.
Now, did
pretty
you-
much, sometimes 30 days in a row. Like,
Did you
stupid
open
stuff.
Marathon?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's been yours from the get go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember if that was the case or if you kind of took it over because you and your business you're part owner in all of those ventures now, right?
Yeah, that's right. So,
And is that all? Is that William Collier's Hurry Back Marathon and Exit In? Is it both you and Josh, or are there other hands involved in?
it's the two of us. It's the two of us in those, and in Kansas City.
And in
which
Kansas
is
City
the
now.
new thing. Yeah,
Do you guys have a name yet for the Kansas City venue?
the Truman.
The Truman.
You're opening a venue in Kansas City.
Yeah,
sure
man.
is.
Oh wow!
You know what? The thing.
Like
I don't know if-
comparable.
I don't know if we
comparable to
Marathon.
same size.
Pretty much, yeah.
And we don't have to go too far into it, but the fact that I know the reasoning, the big reasoning, I think, is because you have a legacy that you're about to embark upon, as far as I'm concerned, or what I'm calling it, as your friend and seeing what you're doing. Because there's a lot of, I mean, we can go out and say it. Like, I think you guys got muscled big time by the biggest music promoter and ticket seller in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys responded by
Say "fuck you, Illuminati."
Just-
we don't want your money.
just the biggest middle finger, especially because if you look at Marathon now, the renovation you guys just did to Marathon is phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It was cool before, but now it's just like stepping it up to that next level that I was just like, that's how you respond to that. And then Kansas City, like, how long have you guys been thinking about opening another venue like Marathon, and what made you guys choose Kansas City of all places?
Man, we've been thinking about it for a long time. Marathon just started its 6th year, and we've been trying to replicate it for probably 4.5 of those 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you say replicate it, you mean replicate as in the venue or just
The model.
the
The model, the size.
Right.
I think that that right around that sweet spot of 1,500 is a pretty it's a viable size.
right.
You can do enough tickets to actually make a little money, and there's enough bands on that level that
Right.
you can do with enough volume. Which I guess is two different ways of saying the same thing. But like Exit In, for example. I mean, we love Exit In, and it's a honor to be a steward of that brand and something that's been in this town for 46 years now. But you can't make any money doing it. It's really, really hard. So
Is that because you just
it's the margins are just too tight. You just can't
even
put
if
enough.
you sell it out, like, I mean, if it's a packed house, you're still just barely.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't put enough people in the place, and you can't do enough. There's no ancillary sales. I mean, there's no food, there's no parking, there's no nothing.
Right.
There's
Mhm.
like
Alcohol sales
there's
and
like
ticket sales.
$3 Pabst, and not enough of them to get by.
Sure.
But that mid-size level is really nice because you can do enough tickets to make money, and there's a lot of places that there's more and more markets that need a venue that size. I mean, I think there's examples all around us. Track 29 in Chattanooga. I mean, who would have thought? Like, you told me 5 years ago that Chattanooga needed a whatever that
Size venue.
yeah, 1,500 cap or what? I don't think that's exactly it, but right in there, I would have told you you're crazy, and
But
and
that's
I was wrong.
But that's an easier stop for a band that's touring. That's an easier stop for a band going from somewhere in North Carolina or South Carolina to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, they can go, instead of coming to Nashville to
Sure.
then go to Atlanta, they can just hit Chattanooga and go to Atlanta if they're touring to venues that size, right?
Yeah, it works great, and you got Knoxville just opened one, Mill and
Yeah.
Mine, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you got all these examples, and I think look, there's growth, in that size, in the live music industry. So,
Yeah.
there's more and more artists on that level than there used to be. I mean, there's the top level, like your 15,000, your big
Yeah.
arena, big outdoor amphitheater
Big
shows.
rooms.
There's
Yep.
fewer and fewer of those.
Sure.
But there's more and more of this mid-level stuff. So we've been thinking about it and working on it for a long time, and we chose Kansas City mainly because of the barbecue.
Good choice.
Really?
No.
I mean,
But a good answer. But no.
I mean,
that's
like,
better for tape.
I mean, why
Yeah.
not?
I
don't
wish
know.
that were true.
You're like, man, we just really like
Just
the barbecue.
The barbecue is so good. We just said we got to do it. No, they didn't have a mid-sized venue out there, and they got the demographics, and they've got there's a great scene out there. There's a great arts scene. There's a great music scene, and much like Nashville was right before we opened a Marathon. They had a mid-sized venue that closed.
Which was City
Here was
Hall,
City
right?
Hall.
Yeah.
And City Hall, I mean, it was a cool size, but it sounded like shit.
Well, that part's hard, isn't it?
it did. It just did not
in this
sound
town
good
of all
in there.
places too, there's a lot of venues that succumb to that problem.
It just didn't.
seems.
It just did not sound good in there.
It was
Yeah.
hard. I mean, hey, we've struggled with it at Marathon.
A lot of brick.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
you-
easy.
Yeah, it's legit. I mean, especially going into places that aren't meant, especially in places like huge open spaces. You know what sound does in huge open spaces.
Yeah.
It goes to lots of places.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you guys have come a long way, and I think a lot of that too has to come down to the sound guy when you get into a room, and who are the guys that can
Knowing how
really
to dial stuff in.
Yeah, and that's their job.
Yeah, that's
Um,
part of it. There's things you can do too, though. I mean,
A lot of treatment. And
yeah,
everything.
we just upgraded Marathon in a big way. You just gotta. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a space that's not built for it, you're just gonna have to find some cash and lay it out and get it treated.
Yep.
But it's not cheap and it's not easy to find. There's not a lot of people that do that work that do it well. So I mean, in hindsight, we would have done it a long time ago, honestly, at Marathon. But we finally did it, and it makes a big difference. Soft goods and panels and putting them in the right place and getting the right ones and having a pro come in and tell you what sounds bad where is stuff you should do.
Your patrons appreciate it.
We all appreciate it.
Yeah, the bands appreciate it. Yeah, everyone does.
I mean,
it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
And I feel like you guys, your venue, the kind of bands that are you're booking in there that hit that 1,500 crowd, around that crowd and everything. You guys, I think it's all a big response. I feel like, and the popularity of that, like that's the level that most independent artists are, even if they're self-sustained and they can get to that level comfortably. You can't get much further past that. And I think that that's the one thing that, especially the bigger companies are starting, and you might have some insight on this, that are having, I feel like they're struggling because now that those bigger artists, most people are like, well, that's cool, but everyone's really into these mid-level, lower level artists, that's a really almost like a sustainable community. Do you think they've already tapped into that a whole bunch, or that was really what they were trying to tap into, trying to get their into Marathon and everything?
Did y'all mention who they were before when I was?
Oh, it's Live Nation.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And it's the same thing. But I mean, they've been around and informed. I mean, you've had major companies trying to get big stakes, whether it was big labels, big ticket, for a long time now.
So I'm a little oblivious to exactly what Live Nation is. I mean, I know that they're a giant, conglomerate of
they're the biggest promoter in the world.
Okay.
Basically, and they own Ticketmaster, which is the largest ticketing system in the world.
Right.
They also own a lot of venues. They used to own radio stations before the feds broke that up. That was Clear Channel.
Okay.
So that got broken up over antitrust. That's who they are, and it's a publicly traded corporation. But
so here in town, do they own any? What
They don't own any properties in Nashville, but they have the rights to Ascend, Municipal, and
Gaylord or the
nope.
Bridgestone?
Nope.
The Ryman?
Fontenelle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never been
And
to
so
the
they
Fontenelle.
so they have rights to.
Yeah.
So does that mean they're exclusively booking those places?
That's what it
or-
means. Yeah. They were awarded
Without ownership, basically. Like
Correct, yeah.
Through a contract or something, what have you.
Yeah, right. So all of our tax dollars built Ascend, and then Ascend, the Ascend 10-year exclusive contract was awarded to Live Nation by the city. That's what happened there.
Wow.
And
Yep.
so but do they have artists that are exclusively booked through them type of thing?
Yeah, they
Isn't that
do.
Something that they do, like
It
those
is.
360 deals.
That's exactly right.
But are those
Yes.
more? But the artists that are filling those size venues, that are more the kind of artists on their rosters as opposed to the people filling your venues, or do they have people that are tapped into that size venue as well?
I'm not an expert on who's got a 360 and who doesn't. I tend to think it's the bigger artists.
Yeah.
But I mean, Live Nation owns over 30 venues the size of Marathon too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Okay.
the whole House of Blues brand and everything there's a lot of things that aren't House of Blues that are within the House of Blues family of venues. All the Fillmores, Live Nation owns all those venues. There's 30, I don't know, 32,
Wow.
36 of them, something like that. Yeah.
And so they're just basically buying up all the. They're trying to buy up. They're just trying to basically own the entertainment, the music, and the live side of the music industry. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean they pretty much do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the biggest player out there, and they're several times larger than the second place finisher, which would be AEG. Those are the two biggest, but Live Nation is, several times larger than AEG.
So they were interested in exiting in the marathon.
They were, yeah. Live Nation was specifically, yeah. They're very, they're very hot on this market, and it's a bullish industry right now. There's people buy concert tickets.
Right.
You
Yep.
know,
They want the live experience
they do, and it's you know
before it's all holograms.
hey,
So-
I look forward to the holograms.
Me too.
What would be
See
the
Jerry Garcia, Tupac, and Jimi Hendrix on stage. It'll be fantastic.
Together.
Together.
Oh wow,
Prince.
too soon, man.
Prince is too soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So what? Because I don't really understand. Like, if you had gone through with it, and then they did own Exodus, and I mean, then it would cease to be like an independent. It would be
True.
It would be harder for independent bands to get booked there.
No.
Or would it?
No,
I mean,
I
would
don't-
it be?
No, I don't think so. You know, I don't know if you're asking about like the potential negatives.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the negatives. I don't think they're specific to like Live Nation or Exit In or Marathon. I mean, what you're talking about, what you were looking at was a monopoly.
Right.
In live music in Nashville, and not a complete monopoly, but a situation where one company has a control over the entire level. You know, from 500
From
capacity
Exit In up to
all the way
Ascend.
up through Ascend.
Yeah.
And that, you know, by nature, monopolies are bad for the consumer. And the
Right.
consumer here is people who love live music and want to go see shows,
Right.
and buy concert tickets. You know, which is who I am and
Yep.
how I, you know,
Who you're trying to serve too,
right?
in the community.
Correct. Well, that's the side. You know, that's the side of the equation that I started on and still live on.
Sure. You are a big consumer.
I am.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I think that the idea of the monopolization of Nashville's live music scene is the thing that we were kind of grossed us out.
Homogenization too, maybe.
Yeah,
a little bit.
The idea of you know this global giant owning Exit In was really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
As
For-
like a you know guy who's been here for 20 years.
Yeah,
From a
well, I mean,
moral
for
standpoint,
a
yeah.
little history lesson for people that are listening that are watching that might not know. The Exit In is, I mean, as historic to this town as the Ryman and the Station Inn. I mean, it's been open 40,
Browns.
40 years.
This is 46. Exit
Yeah.
In opened in 71.
And if you've never been to the Exit In, you go there on the outside of the building and above the bar. There's paintings of everyone's name that has played there, and I mean, it's the first
awesome.
place that like the Chili Peppers played, and the Police, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I mean, the list is endless of the amount of amazing acts that have played there. I mean, there's some serious ghosts in that venue, and so that's kind of the importance of that venue to Nashville for people that are listening that don't know what we're talking about. I mean, it is a very
And it's
historic.
perfect.
Yeah, it's a
perfect venue.
perfect
It's
rock
a box.
venue. Yeah.
It's got a balcony.
Yeah.
It's got the bar. It's
It
beer right to
really
the
is
side.
a great place to see a show.
When you go to the bathroom, you bump into the musicians leaving the stage.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's perfected by all its imperfections.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's
It's rock and
sounds
roll.
good.
It is rock
It
and
does
roll.
sound good.
And that's
there, too.
connected
It
right
does.
next to Hurry Back,
Right.
which you just opened. That's only been open a couple years now.
I think
hasn't
3,
it? 3
yeah.
years.
It's funny that
And you opened right around the same time. You opened William Collier, or a year before that, you opened William Collier's right next to Marathon. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I mean, and what was the deciding? I don't know. I almost feel like what made you do Hurry Back? I mean, just Hurry Back, that Mexican restaurant that was just kicking it there, and you heard that it was closing. You were like, let's buy it, or let's get it. Let's get Hurry Back. How'd you find out? And you got to tell us a little bit about
It's
Hurry Back,
even-
the audience about Hurry Back and the history of Hurry Back.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You revitalized. You brought it back.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're super into the history of stuff, I guess, you know, and Exit In, we talked about that, and that's, you know, huge, heavy, and it's been this, you know, this great center of alternative music in this town since the early 70s, and then you know, we did the Marathon thing and got tied into all the history down there. You know, that neighborhood was
Marathon Village is awesome.
1881. The first, you know, the factory was built down there. So super rich history, and we had a lot of fun, you know, tying that history into that venue, And obviously, that's the namesake. And then William Collier's, our little whiskey bar next door, is named after the chief engineer for the automobile. So
It's awesome.
we just, got real into like playing on the history of stuff and having a lot of fun with that. And I don't know, man. It makes it feel authentic and
Sure.
it harkens back to, the history of a place or whatever.
And Hurryback was a market.
Yeah, so
Right.
Hurryback was the same thing. Hurryback was called Russell's Hurryback Market. I don't know the exact year, 70s, I think through mid to late 80s. And it was like a little like beer and cigarette joint,
Yep.
on the corner there. And so yeah,
Now it's a beer and taco joint.
right. So yeah, I mean, it's not a super glamorous story, but the Mexican place I think suffered what a lot of Nashville restaurants have and are going to continue to suffer. It just smushed out by a high level of competition that the city hasn't always had, not just in restaurants, but specifically in restaurants. I guess I read yesterday like 34 new restaurants opening this year.
The food scene in this town is insane.
It's
I mean,
nuts.
it is
It's
blown
little.
up.
It's ridiculous. It was great for a little while, and now it's just ridiculous.
It's out of hand. Places open and then close before I even get a chance to go try them. But anyway, she had a good 7-year run and couldn't keep the doors open, and it's the same landlord as Exit Inn. And so the landlord hit us up and said, "Hey, you guys have paid your bills for 10 years. Do you want to take over? Do you want to take over the corner?" And we said, "Oh, maybe." And we went and talked to him, and we said, "Yeah." They told us what the rent was, so we said, "No, we're good. Never mind." And then they called us back 2 days later and said, "All right, let's get it done."
Let's figure it out.
Yeah. So
And you got rid of that smell too. That was the most amazing thing.
there was an
That's
interesting smell in there. Yeah,
That's far out.
old grease, but
I think I only ate at that Mexican restaurant once.
I've eaten there. I ate there a bunch.
me too.
I bet you
think I only
did.
Yeah.
ate there once.
They had cactus on the menu. I liked it.
There you go.
But we started tearing the place up. So we knew we wanted to do a bar on the corner there, and we knew we wanted to Elliston's. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite strips in the whole city. It's one of our little block where Exit In, Hurry Back, Gold Rush, the Soda Shop. That little stretch is one of the the few stretches left. That's the way that it was. Like it's the end. I mean
It's encroaching though.
it is so
The Goliaths
close
are
on,
encroaching.
on every corner, but that little block,
that little
is
block is
still
hanging
like
on.
untainted,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You got the I'm jumping around here, I guess, but the Elliston Street Fest, right?
Yeah.
Isn't when's that coming up?
July 22.
July 22. Who's
Yeah, man.
do you guys know who's headlining it yet? Who's headlining? Can you say?
Can't tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, we're announcing May 8th, early May, I think.
All right,
Yeah.
early May.
That's good though. It's exciting.
Yay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm pumped.
It's just one day, right? It's just
hit
one.
mute. I'll tell you who it is.
All right.
After the show, after the show.
Off the record.
So do you ever get so you're obviously excited about the show. Like does the nuance ever wear off of getting excited about, like, you still get excited when you book a really awesome show, it sounds like.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. We put a Primus offer in for Marathon today.
Yes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, it
Oh,
may not
man.
happen, but
Sure.
that
would be awesome.
I'm
I mean,
pretty excited.
You know, I to
But
speak.
that's a type of a band that, like, I mean, you see them. They have their ebbs and flows of like playing.
just saw 'em at
larger- Yeah,
Bridgestone.
you just saw them opening
So
for
did I.
Tool
Yeah.
at Bridgestone. Yeah,
Great show.
Uh-huh.
But it seems like that's the size that they would, play now. I mean, I don't
It
know.
is.
They
Yeah.
kind of can ebb and, like you said, they can ebb and flow between both. They
Yeah.
can kind of do both and put on some great things. I
I
feel
hope,
like
I hope they play Marathon.
that'd be so amazing.
I
And
want
I was,
open floor,
and
man.
that speaks again to the cool thing. I've been fortunate in the last couple of years to get more acquainted with your pops, who is about as enthusiastic when it comes to live music as you are.
He might have me beat, man.
Yeah, he might. He really actually might. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think he does.
Yeah.
But he was talking. We were at you guys had this incredible show at Marathon. It was the Misty Marathon Hop, and it was the this huge tribute to Led Zeppelin that was phenomenal. Heavy hitters of the Nashville rock and roll community scene, and he pulls me aside. We were just talking. We're talking. And we're watching the show, and he's like, it's just so cool to see your kid who you saw him get into his first records. You saw him get into his first, you saw him get excited about music, start getting it. And then you see it fast forward to now, to where the full love of music has evolved to what you were putting on, for sharing it with all these other people. They're witnessing this great show. And it's just this full, and he's like, that's like a really cool full circle that he shared with me. But I think it is what a thrill to be so invested in your business, but to find what it seems to be a lot of joy out of that business.
Yeah,
you get a lot of cool benefits from
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, how cynical I am.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta love the shows, man.
You're cynical
Gotta
with a
love it.
smile. I'll put it that way. Can I put
Okay,
it that way?
All right, sure.
Did you ever have any inkling or desire earlier, like when you first started into this promotion career, of looking at being artist management, like being on that side of like representing bands and just working with like a few art? Did you ever have that moment? Go, do I want to do promotion, or did you know that you wanted to be in promotion and get into promotion?
No, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no plan, and I definitely never said, "Oh, I want to get into promotion," or "I want to get into owning venues."
Right.
It just kind of happened.
Right. Well, I mean, the owning venues I could see, but I mean, you know, ever since I've known you, it's been you were working on promoting shows and trying to putting
up
together
posters on
putting up live music and
electrical
trying to promote
poles
things,
when you weren't supposed to.
as opposed to
I know what you're talking about.
meeting you and going, oh, yeah, I'm like trying to.
City of
manage
Nashville
bands
knows what I'm talking
you
about.
know, yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Did you ever get fined for putting posters up and stuff? You guys would always hit the poster scene up really hard.
Especially those golden squid.
Yeah, man.
Bright yellow and pink and blue paper. With
You guys
the
taught.
black,
I mocked
yeah.
how to make posters. Just big block letters. Just
Yeah.
no
Man.
bullshit.
Yeah,
These guys here this day. No
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Just when they're playing
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
it basically said.
A fine was attempted, but it could never be proven that we put the posters up.
Sir, it says right here, Golden Squids Productions. You were I don't know.
No, you want to hear? You want to hear?
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how those kids got our posters.
I got a funny story.
All right.
I actually had to go to court over posters many years ago. During that time and the posters that you're talking about, I got drugged to environmental court.
Oh wow.
Yep. And it was there was some kind of fine, and this awesome guy, I'm gonna leave his name out of it, but he came to shows a lot, and he's an attorney. He's like, I got it, man. I'm gonna represent you. We're gonna go to court. Like, we're gonna beat it. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what? Like,
Fight the power. Was it Chuck D?
Just pay, just pay the fine and go home, man. He's like, no.
No, we're good. We got this.
I'm like, who goes to environmental court and argues?
No, we didn't. No, we weren't killing the planet. That's recycled paper.
So it was, it's like
biodegradable.
it's like
The
people
birds
with-
use it in their nests.
It's people with vehicles. Like,
My wife, I'm calling her out.
uh-oh.
She'll put she'll drop things, or I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like an apple core, not even apple core. It was just something where it's like, oh, it's a
Dental
bird.
floss.
A bird can use that. Like, I love it. That was like straight up calling her out. I wouldn't say she's done a lot, but bird can use it.
Look out, man. What are all those floating thumbs up?
This has been the most liked interview yet.
That's
Were those
so hard.
likes?
Yeah.
Those are all likes. We're
Floating
just,
across?
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Oh my
we've had the
goodness.
most consecutive viewers. You're hot, man. For the
I am so
for
hot.
the 10th for our 10th episode, it's huge to have you here. It's a milestone as far as we're concerned. We're celebrating. So here's a cheers.
Yeah,
I need a-
cheers.
And thanks
Yeah.
for supplying. You need another beer?
I need a beer.
You
man.
brought them.
Hold on.
This
Let's-
is pretty.
cheers,
This is a
everybody.
pretty tasty brown ale.
Isn't it good?
I like it.
It is my
kinda-
favorite brown right now.
You want the double IPA?
No way.
I will. I'll take it. I'll take one. Yeah, it's got a it's chocolatey and yeah, it's very tasty. Cigar brew. Where is this from?
Florida, Ybor, I
okay.
think.
Yeah. So obviously, when you're dealing with venues, do you ever book any comedy
Can I just
at
first say
Marathon?
that this is just like the coolest cooler. Can we figure out who makes this and see if they'll sponsor us?
Well,
Kaisik.
Yeah.
Tito's hooked you up with that one, huh?
Thank
This is a
you,
cooler
Kelsey
backpack,
Buff
y'all.
and Tito's
Yeah.
for the
I'll take
It's a
one.
little promotion.
awesome.
That's some promotion swag. One of the job perks, huh?
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.
Obviously, like
And for those playing
I
at
just-
home too, cheers everybody.
Do you ever book comedy at
Yeah.
at Marathon?
Yeah, I would like to do more of it. It's yes, not enough.
Because I mean, because right now the only real for comedy in Nashville, it's Zanies or you're playing the Ryman or you're Louis C.K. selling out Bridgestone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's not a theater. I guess you could do. People I guess that do T-Pack as well, but I mean there's not like we don't have a theater, a small like Fox Theater type is what I'm thinking of. Like Fox Theater is not that big, right?
It's called the Ryman.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
I think either
that's
between
true.
the
It's just so
Ryman or
busy.
T-Pack. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty great comedians there, which have been a lot of fun.
But I mean, I feel like there's definitely some good comedians that could fill Marathon.
I would like to do more. I think it's really fun. I just enjoy the.
That's good stuff. It's flowery. Didn't I tell you that?
It's passion fruit, pine,
Ooh.
and gray matter.
Pine, passion fruit,
Passion fruit, pine, and gray matter.
and
What-
beard fluff.
Yeah, that's good.
I enjoy comedy in the venue setting, in like the rock club setting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun for
Be
me.
a little more irreverent.
I'd rather do that than like
You guys have
sit
had
at a crammed in cocktail table.
Exit In has had a pretty iconic
It did.
live David
Exper-
Cross, man.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny that we played at Exit In that same week he was there. So in his DVD and his
that's right. It
performance,
says
when
Mile 8
they show the
Awesome.
when they show that the marquee, our name is on the marquee.
That's awesome.
As playing, I think we were played there like either the night before or 2 nights after or something like that. But like we were in the DVD and we thought that was funny. But yeah, that was kind like.
I like David Cross.
I love David Cross.
I like him
awesome.
in things, but I'm
says-
not a big fan of his comedy. And
Oh, I
I'm a
love his
huge
co-
fan of stand-up
He's not a
comedy.
fan of his comedy.
I am a huge fan of stand-up
he
comedy.
hates. He
but,
says
like,
he hates doing stand up.
He just, I don't know, man.
I
He
heard
just,
an interview. He said he's
just not one of my
awesome.
favorites.
I think, and I'm not. I swear, Kelly, I'm not picking on you. And you're right. You're not a litterer. You don't litter. You really don't. But I remember watching the last David Cross episode, not episode, but special
On
the-
Netflix?
Netflix. And I remember thinking, especially after it, I'm like, Kelly fell asleep at the perfect time during that.
I mean, that one
special.
was pretty good, but like
He
just,
keeps ramping it up.
yeah.
The best. He's got some really good. I think he's good. I like his
He's all right.
delivery.
He's okay.
And
But
you're
that
allowed-
thing that he did at the
that's
exit, were
all
you
right.
there? Did you have to deal with that?
That was before me.
Oh man, was it?
Yeah. It was.
That was
It was T.C. Weber.
Yep.
that was so brutal what he did to TC.
Yes, it was.
But
Oh
Funny to
man.
watch.
it was
For
hilarious
anybody that
to
wants to know what we're
watch.
talking about, go on YouTube and type
Yeah.
in David Cross and the Exit In Nashville, Tennessee, and you'll probably find a clip of what we're talking about.
It's fantastic.
It's pretty interesting. I don't even remember the whole premise, but yeah,
It's really good. It's really good. It's worth the watch.
yeah. So obviously you've got to deal with good artist, bad artist, the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, you got to deal with personalities and egos. Who has been over the years? Who has been one of the surprisingly easiest, most fun person like to work with? Like, did someone could book a show and you're like kind of thinking that you might be an issue, and then they come in, they're just as cool as grits, or not
No.
even that. Just, I mean,
They're usually
No.
that way. They're usually that
Not
way.
really.
but who over the years? Because I mean, with the Exit In, like Guar comes to the Exit In religiously.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's certain acts that come through Nashville. They're always going to play the Exit In. They're always going to play Marathon.
Right.
And like, you have good relationships, I would imagine, with certain touring acts like that. Who's like one of your favorite people? Like when they're coming in town, you're like, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be there that night just to go in and say hey. Like maybe not even come in to see the show, but just to like, you know, who's someone that you look forward to coming into town?
Well, I mean, we keep talking about Guar, but I mean that's one that I always, I always go by and say hey.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about those dudes.
Oh yeah.
You asked me to help. You asked me if I wanted to help load in.
Yeah.
And that was, like-
probably needed help.
Well, you might have, but it was right at the height of like when H-Beam was really full throttle with all the costumes and everything. So and you knew it. And I was just like, oh hell yeah, you probably needed the help too, which is obvious. But it's like you got to, and the best part is like halfway through the day, they're like, does anyone want to go home? And I'm like, yeah, shit, I don't need to be here. I just wanted to get in.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to help. And the thing is, I remember going like, cool. And then immediately going over and talking to their lead costume guy that basically all he does is repair everything with hot glue guns and make sure all the tubing's where it needs to be.
And Febreze them.
Yeah, and I just talking and picking his brain about all the different things he's using and doing, and it was like, but it was just and it's funny that Guar was not only like one of the first bands that when I walked into Exit In, the first time I ever walked into Exit In, they were loading in.
Great, man.
And then
I
getting
bet
to do that
back room smells like all hell when those guys are there.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I can only imagine that those suits that they wear are
bad.
just
It does.
Funky,
disgusting.
man.
The show doesn't fit in that room. That's one of the reasons it's so cool to see it there because
Yeah.
it's just too big for the
It's
whole
perfect. I remember. I still
What's the
have
cleanup
my.
like after a Guar show?
It's intense. I remember.
Do you have to hire a crew to come in and clean? I mean, it's nasty.
You know what?
Like,
I gotta say, I remember that same show afterwards because I didn't hang around. I didn't have to load out or anything, but I was there late enough, and I remember.
I mean, it's
It might have
insane
been
going
Jesse.
to a Guar show.
I was it was someone going and like just sitting there off to the side before they could go, just with the squeegee,
Oh yeah.
just sitting there, just like waiting for everyone to clear out. Like,
There's a worse show though. I mean, Guar. So the thing about Guar is they're total pros. So I mean, it's been 25 years. I think they've been doing it. So it's just water. It's water based.
yeah,
Right.
So it pretty much evaporates, and then you can do a little sweeping, a little mopping, and you're gone. The one that's a bummer is all the ICP, like Insane Clown Posse and any of the kind of spin-off stuff. When you get the Fago going on in the building, that's when you're in real trouble. Yeah.
I didn't even.
getting
So
all-
they what?
they're getting
I
all
know
ratchet.
that I know that their fans love the Fago, but do they like?
They spray
do they ever,
Fago
like,
from
shake it up
stage.
and?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a whole thing.
Do you know why?
I don't know why. I don't.
It doesn't
wanna-
matter.
I don't know
but-
why. Do you don't take any calls?
But you ask. But the thing is, the best part with Guar is like, if anyone knows why, post it. All right, wiki it for us.
Why Fago for ICP? is
Because
what I
meth heads love sweet syrupy drinks.
Now look, not all gigolos are meth heads.
No.
That's
I'm
that's
just-
Juggalos.
offensive.
That's
Juggalos.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Juggalos.
just want to make
What
sure.
did I say?
Gigolos.
Oh,
Juggalo.
yeah.
Like Louis Prima style. No,
Ooh.
juggalos.
Sorry.
Big difference.
Yeah.
I know.
We got a question from the Madam President right there.
How many years have the Melvins been playing Exit In?
Ooh, good question.
I would imagine since the
longer than
beginning of their career.
Yeah, longer than I've been around. I don't know the answer, but I saw a sweet Melvin sticker posted today on Facebook by one of the old Exit In security guards.
So okay, so who Tell us a horror story. Like who's you don't have to
I-
tell
I
us.
gotta-
You
I
don't
gotta
have
go
to
to my
tell us
turn.
who
I gotta-
it is.
I
But
gotta-
who's been the worst that you
Okay,
had to
worse
deal
than
with?
I gotta go to one after that.
Worst thing I've ever had to deal with.
Yeah, like I mean, just who has come in? Who's been
See,
an art?
you're
like,
making
it
him.
doesn't
You're
have to
making
be-
him like talk about like.
No. You
this,
don't
like-
have to. You don't have to tell
I
any
gotta-
names, or you can sell them out and be like, "I'll never work with this asshole ever again."
No one else
like,
should.
and no one else
And
should.
no one else
But what has
should.
been like one of the worst things? Where you're like, God, this tonight is just not worth it. This is just the worst. You're a dick.
Okay, first, the Run the Jewels is the other new one in the family now that we always say hi to.
Yeah.
Okay, so
when
good
are they
stuff.
coming to
So
town?
good stuff.
Hopefully against
Not to be
I was
confused.
just
Okay,
here.
good. All right.
No, that's the good stuff.
Good stuff.
Oh
okay.
man, their
so
new
I
album
gotta-
is so good.
I got yeah. I listened to that running this yesterday.
Oh, man, it's so
all the
good.
way, man. And that's just a great tour and a great crew and great people, and hopefully we've done our third show with those guys. So I hope 10 years from now I'm
You're
still
still doing
going
so.
by and saying hi to them like Guar, but
Because they
All right.
smoke hella weed.
Halloween.
Like, I mean, like, let's be real.
But also carry a trainer and exercise
Yeah.
during the day in the club
Love it.
before
That's
smoking
awesome.
hella weed.
Yeah.
every
Oh, you
day.
got to balance it out.
Absolutely.
Man,
It's all about balance.
I follow Killer Mike
Absolutely.
on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And he posted a picture. I guess they're in Europe right now, and he posted a video of him smoking a blunt, and I was just like, I don't even know how you could possibly consume it the way he was consuming. It was I was like, I would be on the floor, out. And he was like getting down on it was at least that long. It was huge, just getting at it. He's one of my favorites, man. I love those guys.
Hey, it's
Hey.
legal. It's
Win
legal
in
somewhere.
Amsterdam.
It's legal somewhere.
Yeah, win in Amsterdam.
Seems like it's legal in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
So back to your story. Sorry, you said Run the Jewels. That's a good answer.
don't have
that's
a-
a good. That's
I
a
don't-
good answer.
Yeah, man, they're great.
I'm glad to hear
Okay,
that.
well I got it. What's the craziest rider?
Oh, I don't even know.
Don't even know.
I don't.
You've had some crazy. What are some crazy things
I
you've
saw
seen?
heroin
on
on a rider.
Really?
I think it was a joke. I mean, that's the thing,
It's not a
Yeah,
joke.
you all right?
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke, asshole. I'm really doing shit.
I think that was a joke. But I don't.
Or
have,
you get the heroin and you show up. They show up. They'd be like, "Dude, we were just
What's
fucking
wrong with
around."
you,
like,
man?
God damn.
Thanks.
hardcore promoter.
What do we do, guys?
Oh
I
man.
don't
They
have
just pulled our pants down on that one.
I don't have a lot of bad stories, honestly. Most of them are good stories, and most days are just like going to work for everybody. It's just another day, and everybody's pro, and so some days are really good, and most days are just a regular day, and there's only a tad of like shitty days.
Yeah.
But I do remember one funny story that has to do with a band called Buck Cherry.
It's already
love
funny.
I
It's
love
already funny.
Yes. you couldn't have picked a better band to call out.
we used to do Buck Cherry shows at Exit Inn every once in a while, and there was this one tour there towards the end, not the very end, because I think Buck Cherry even played Marathon. And that was the very end, but close to the end, a few years before that at Exit Inn, we did a Buck Cherry show. I think it was even sold out. If not, it was close. There were a lot of people there, so the singer's name is Josh Todd, and they were traveling in like this RV thing, and so Buck Cherry's doing the whole deal where like the band comes up and plays half song before Josh Todd takes the stage, and he comes out and like throws off the jacket.
Right.
We remember what Josh Todd looks like, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
Oh,
He's
man.
skinny,
Yeah.
like skinny rocker dude, but just covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's really gross looking.
Yes.
All right.
So
He looks like a skeleton. Like he looks very like gross.
Okay.
yeah.
You just painted a picture.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah. So the band is on, and he's not yet. He's in the RV. He's in the RV, like, and the RV is shaking, like right out back at Exit In. It's like I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this? What is happening here? And he's and he's shadow boxing, like, to warm up. He's like
Right.
throwing punches, and he's in there going, "I'm Josh Todd. I'm Josh Todd." And he's shadow boxing in this RV. It gets worse. So he comes out of the RV and he's like, "I gotta take a shit." Takes a shit behind the exit in the parking lot, pulls up his pants, takes the stage. 90 minutes of
that cocaine
Buck Cherry.
kicked in. Somebody put some baby laxative in his shit.
That was the hit song, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
Oh my word!
I'm Todd.
There's
What's his name?
Josh Todd.
I'm doing the.
I gotta take a shit.
Jaron Johnson. You know Jaron.
Yeah.
So Jaron opened a whole tour for Buck Cherry. So if you
Oh
want,
my
yeah. So if you
God.
want to hear even better,
Wow.
if you want to hear even better versions,
You know what? And I gotta
I
say,
gotta take a shit.
right back in the club, man.
that doesn't touch any of the motivational videos and shit that I listen. I'm glad that at least I'm not in the back somewhere going, "I'm Matt Wahlberg. I gotta take a shit. I gotta take a shit. We gotta play." At least I'm just like
Oh my
to myself
God,
listening
that
on
is
some
so
headphones,
funny.
typically like getting pumped up on my own damn self, not getting the
That
whole
doesn't
parking lot
surprise me
involved.
about that dude
That's
at all.
awesome.
It does, I mean, like, yeah, of course, that's exactly how that guy gets warmed up for a show.
Yep.
Shadow boxes and takes a shit.
Jeff Todd. I think I'm gonna try that for like a week before I take a shit. Like,
I'm Josh Todd.
I'm Matt Wahlberg. I'm Matt Wahlberg. I got this. Just see what happens. After a week, no, it's the same. I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Oh
But
my god!
However,
that's
you
so
know,
funny.
however you get to those zones, but that's a zone.
It was a zone.
The Josh
zone you
Todd
don't want to be
zone.
in.
Nope.
Ah, man, that's
Nope.
funny. Who's someone that you've never booked a show that you would love? Like who? Like
Primus is the white whale right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that for years.
really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Gogo Bordello was the white whale for years. Finally got that one
Yeah,
done.
you did. Yeah, they played Marathon, didn't they?
Well, yeah, we did
Yeah.
Exit M once, which was absolutely mind-boggling, insane, and then we did Marathon a couple years after that.
Who?
Go Bordello.
Gogo Bordello.
I don't know if I've.
Oh my friend.
They're awesome.
Like what kind? What's their jam?
Gypsy
What do they
punk.
do?
Yeah, it's Eastern European gypsy punk. Like
It's like what.
So why was
it's
that
like
the
what-
White Whale?
It's like what.
just love.
They're great.
I just love
They're
them.
really
Yeah.
good live
Yeah.
too. They're kind of like what the shovels and rope were to Civil Wars, as they're kind of the same way to like Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros.
You can't compare
they're-
Gogo Bordello to any of those artists. I'm sorry.
No, you can't compare them to, but they're the same way you can't really compare Shovels and Rope to Civil Wars, but it's like the same thing. I remember Civil Wars came out at the same time that, like, I remember hearing Shovels and Rope at this around the same time. Like Civil Wars just broke out, and here comes Shovels and Rope. We saw them at Exit In opening for Butch Walker, which was one of the best shows I've ever seen at Exit In, next to like Clutch. Clutch
boy.
was one. We have seen some cool Clutch shows, but the thing was, is like I'm like, look over at Shovels and Rope, forget Civil Wars, like look at these guys, and it's the same thing. I remember like Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros like hit with their like home song, and at that same time you started hearing about Gogo Bordello, and I'm like, no, like that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'll
that.
have to
Like,
check that out.
I don't know why, but I just put them into that like the intense like hell yeah version of that, which I'd much rather go see.
Yeah, sure.
All talented, but man, way better ticket spent on that. I think I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. You played music for a little while, didn't you? Or you played guitar, or you
I try
so you still do.
sometimes. Yeah.
When did you play guitar? Like how long when you were a kid? Bass when you were a kid?
Yeah.
High school and stuff?
Yep.
Or did you ever have a band?
Uh-huh.
What was the band's name?
We're gonna have to keep pulling these. We're pulling. Okay, band's name.
Pardon me.
Pardon me.
What?
Correct.
And this was like late '90s.
Pardon me's illustrious career would have begun around 96, 90, somewhere in there, and quick rise to the top and quick fall by 98.
96 and a
Here in
half.
here in Nashville.
Pardon me was a three-piece. Two members lived here, and I lived in Illinois.
You were going to school out there
My family lived there.
because you were still in high school at that point. Did you go to? How long did you live? Because I thought you were from Texas. I thought you're from Dallas, right? That's where you were born, right?
Yep. I lived in Dallas I lived in Garland till I was 11.
Garland, Texas. Isn't that? Wait. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm thinking of Arlen, Texas.
King of the Hill?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But Garland. Okay, go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah. I often wonder if Arlen isn't a play on Garland, but because I don't know if that's a real town or not.
Texas is its own
Country.
beautiful country.
Well, yeah, it's something. We've been to Texas together.
Yeah, we have.
Yep.
We've had a. We'll
a whole
talk-
nother podcast.
Maybe we'll talk about. Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say maybe we'll get to that. Maybe we
Hey,
won't
look,
have time.
John Bell joined.
Hey, John Bell.
Cool. So then Illinois, beautiful Decatur, Illinois. 91 to 98, and then Nashville. I moved to Nashville 98.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were in high school.
Yep.
Playing in a band.
Yeah.
That two of the members lived here.
Yep.
But you lived in Illinois.
That's right.
Okay. Logistically,
That's a
were you
long drive to band
that's
practice.
Right. I was about to say.
Well,
so
might have been part of the problem.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
sure.
No, so my mom is from here. So my grandparents were here.
Okay.
So I spent a bunch of time here. All through my life, I've been in Nashville a lot. So like in middle school, high school, I might come here for entire summers
Gotcha.
or weeks at a time. And my grandparents' next door neighbors were the Bilbrys. So Mark, my age, his little brother Eric, who's my little sister's age, and then their mom Eve, and then their dad is Keith Bilbrey.
I know a Jamie Bilbrey.
I don't know if there's a relation there. Definitely not a sibling.
Yeah. Okay.
But Keith was the Keith. He was a Channel 5 weatherman, and then he went on to host the Opry for years and years. Did the television broadcast of the Opry. Anywho, so yeah, pardon me was Mark and me, and then our buddy Steven on drums. We played in the Hume Fogg Battle of the Bands in 1998.
Whoa.
Claim to fame, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. I think we just start over our first song.
I bet I could guess because
I bet
if it's
Chris
high
West
school,
played in the Battle of the Bands, maybe.
I don't know if he did, but the Dalai Lamas won that.
We're having him
So
on
how
in a
long
couple
have you?
of weeks.
How long have y'all known each other then? Like,
Well, I mean, I didn't.
no, you just knew because you booking through my
Yeah,
way.
I
That was
mean,
the first
yeah,
time y'all
yeah.
knew each
We
other.
met tonight.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would have
You're
been.
really
it would have
meeting
been.
tonight.
It would have been early, like right when he was getting started doing all his thing
Yeah.
here in town.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing. So who were your big influences as a band? Who were you? Who
Nirvana.
Who did you? Yeah, I was gonna say. I knew
There's
that's what it was. I knew
There's
that's what
only
it was.
one.
Because I just found out. Okay, because again, I just found out how big of not like I would say not that you were because you still are obviously, but how big of a Nirvana fan you are, and I claim to be a big Nirvana fan, and you're a big Nirvana fan even in almost like the from in the collector sense, the memorabilia sense, in the and you have an incredible
You're a collector.
record of CDs as well, of the archaic medium compact disc. You've got an incredible CD collection.
You still buy
Why does
CDs?
everyone- I can't believe this.
Because it's over.
Do you
I
really
had-
still
it's
buy
over.
I had
CDs?
no idea
It's
that,
over.
like it was over.
It's over.
I
Okay.
bought 2 CDs this week.
I know.
What?
Yeah,
Where?
Grimies.
Didn't you just see
guess
Jack
so,
White
yeah.
said that like they've claimed? Oh wait, it was in the UK. I just watched a video
yeah,
thing.
vinyl outsold.
Yeah, vinyl out soda, digital sales.
That's great, man. I want to play that shit in my car. And the digital and I can't afford the quality lost digital on a mobile device.
Right.
MP3s sound like
Oh,
garbage.
Okay. Yep.
And
yep.
also,
Do you really
by
think
the
that
way,
you really think you can hear a difference between an MP3 and a CD?
I do.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Also, you're gonna lose all that shit. It's much more likely that your hard drive gets wiped than it is that the back room of my house burns down.
I mean, I pay a
What do you think
subscription
about? Yeah, what do you
service,
think about the subscription service?
and I
then?
do it.
Well,
Like,
give me an example.
Apple Music.
Right. But so where's all that live? All that music?
I don't know.
Right. I know where all mine is.
We'll put it this way.
It's in this old ass shelf in my house.
Let me just say that if
I know
one
I'm the
day
odd
I
man
can't
out.
access my Apple Music subscription, I've got more shit to worry about than not being able to listen to Run the Jewels in my car.
Maybe you do. Maybe that's the day you really need that run of juice.
You guys are all making really valid.
I'm just
points
saying,
right
like,
here.
I mean, I get it, but I mean,
Nathan bought a CD today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good for you,
Wow.
Nathan, and Johnny Z back
Oh.
watching us.
well, here's the thing.
Johnny
Here's the thing with
Z.
buying music is I buy. If I come across something like Robert Ellis is a guy that I've gotten into in the last year or
Yep.
two,
Yep.
and I came across him on Spotify, and I was like, this guy's awesome, and I went and bought his album on vinyl.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
if I come across something like I like. I'm not a big vinyl head or all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if that's a term,
It
but I
is
do.
now.
I do like to buy records. I do like to support music and buy music. But and I've developed a new love of listening to a record. But man, CDs are. Yeah, I just see it as being just a dead medium.
I love it, man. I don't know. I buy vinyl too.
Do you take do you take pretty meticulous care of your CD collector? Are you a little OCD, or are you just kind of like let them when they scratch, they scratch?
No, man. They're in alphabetical order, and don't touch them.
Wow. So do you?
I love it.
I find them in
I love
Talisha's
it.
car, and I'm like, ah.
So you don't have a book or
No
anything? You'll
booklet.
buy like do you grab like at the beginning of the week? Okay, I'm gonna listen to this. Grab like 4 or 5 CDs and just keep those in your car
Yeah,
for the week.
The center console's got like a dozen, and the glove box has got like another dozen.
Wow.
And it'll
My
be,
car
it'll be like a
car doesn't
month,
even have a CD player.
And then I take them out
Stuck in
and I put them
1997.
back in alphabetical order. And then
Wow.
I put new ones in.
That's
I dig it. No, but if you're gonna take it to
That's
that
passionate.
level,
That's
I dig
passion.
that. Like
Yeah,
I like
that's
I like
passion.
that. If you're just like as me, that was the problem with me with CDs is I can't. If I own something, I have to be okay with the fact that it's gonna get ruined sooner or later. Like just be through my own.
Yeah.
Like I've
You
never.
saw those Nirvana CDs.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
That's what
I bought those in the early.
I
90s.
even was
and they're
just
still
like
in pristine.
Yeah,
I'm just like don't hand
Wow.
these to me. Like this is not
That's
gonna
funny.
end well.
remember
Like,
the
you know,
remember the little remember
he's
on-
got the coolest. I mean,
remember on the CD
heart shape. He has the heart shaped box.
the bootleg
Wow.
box.
The
It's a
bootleg
bootleg
bo-
box set.
I love it.
Wow.
Remember on the CD the little like paper liner that would go in between the plastic wrap and the outside of the jewel case, the plastic case, like
Yeah.
down the
Uh-huh.
the side. I don't know why they did those, but you remember what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
I would take those and fold them in half and stick them inside the case, and I still have them.
Oh wow.
They're still in there.
Like so,
It's ridiculous.
one of our guests,
That's great.
Molly Conrad, she was our very first guest. She's a local indie pop singer songwriter girl here in town.
7 podcasts ago.
Woman. Yes, 7. Whoa.
Wow.
We were talking about she was about to do her CD release, and I was like, and when she told me that, I said, "You're actually
CD?
getting CDs printed?" She's like, "Well, yeah. I just still like the idea of like something tangible." And I said, "But you realize that people are just gonna buy that like, and then they're gonna put it in their computer, and then they just put that CD gone somewhere, you know." And so we started. She's like, "Well, what would you do?" And I was saying, I see the more if you're not gonna print vinyl, to do things more of like instead of doing like you do like a merchandise package where you get like a show poster or like a poster and a T-shirt or something, and you get the digital download with that. But you say that you hear a difference in CDs, and I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe if I A/B'd them, I might be able to tell a difference. But
I mean, when I crank that shit up in my car, I can definitely hear a difference from
Really?
from my phone minied in
right,
to the CD. Yeah.
what do you hear the difference in? I mean, it's like
It
people
just
saying
sounds
this.
like there's some compression that should
There,
be there.
compression, there's
Sure.
gloss, there's some bit stuff and it also depends too on what quality
It does. Depends on the MP3.
the MP3 quality.
Yeah.
But
But
I
now
don't know.
you're
I
getting
know-
things mixed
I-
for or mastered
Yeah,
for
it's-
iTunes
I know
and
I'm a
mastered
dinosaur,
for
and everybody everybody at work. I mean,
You catch shit for it.
Oh man, I mean, I'm so laughed at. Like, see if the CD even comes in anymore, which they never do. They just put them on my desk because like the kids in the office are like, I don't. What do you do with this?
What's this?
Yeah.
What's
Like,
this?
what is this
What's this
thing?
coaster that they
I'm
just
like, give me
set up?
that. I'll put it. I'll listen to that in my car like an old man. So yeah, I don't know. It's not the the quality isn't the driving factor for me. I like album format. Like
Sure.
I like to listen to a record all the way through, and it's harder and harder to do.
Yeah.
But I like that, and I like to be able to take it with me, and I don't mess with the whole digital thing anymore.
So
I did
when-
that for a long time, and I lost a bunch of shit, and it's just for me, it's just easier to just buy a CD.
So when you go running, do you have a big old Discman on your hip?
We got a
iPhone.
question. So,
iPhone.
old Adam Brown's asking if how many CDs do you own, Chris? Grand total
Ooh.
estimate.
Good question.
Good question from the.
I don't think it's a lot, but like you said that, and people will swing by the house and be like, "Oh my God, look at all the CDs," and I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm trying to think about.
1,000.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a pretty respectable collection.
I think you think that's 1,000. I mean,
You got a wall
think-
dedicated to
I'm
it.
trying to think about the size of that.
That's a pretty good sized wall. I'd say at least 1,000.
That's probably
At
that's
least
probably 1,000 discs.
Do you know Todd Hendrick? He owns Vinyl Tap. He opened that Vinyl Tap over.
No, I've never met him.
I worked with him a few years back.
Goins is saying 1,000 for sure.
What's up, Aaron? I know Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a going story.
There's plenty of those, that's for sure. But he opened Vinyl Tap, but I knew him years before that. But I went over to his house, and he had one of those collections where you walked in, and I was just like, "Damn, this guy is a fan of music." Like, I mean, he and it was like records, vinyls, CDs. I mean, and I'm talking like multiple walls.
See, I don't think my collection's that impressive, but
I mean,
I guess it's I've grown up and always been around people with like ridiculous music collections.
Yeah.
So I always, I don't know. I guess it's a lot of something, maybe, but
I mean, I've probably still got like 300 CDs or so. But recently, this a few months ago, I had all my CDs in boxes because I was listening to my iPod and our iPhone and blah 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 blah, and I just had these crates of boxes of CDs packed up, and I was like, I'm sick of moving this shit. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So I went and I made sure that I backed up everything onto my computer or whatnot, and I kept the CDs, but I put them in, like, I went and got binders with the sleeves and put all the CDs in there and kept the cover art, but got rid of all the jewel cases.
Yep, I have seen that.
So I still have all my CDs just in case.
Yeah, right.
Shit hits
just
the fan.
in case the cloud disappears.
Yeah, just in
one
case
day.
the cloud disappears or an asteroid hits the Apple server or some shit in space or whatnot. But so there's something I brought up Todd, and there's certain types of people, and you would be one of them. My buddy Todd would be one of them, because like I'm a musician, and I love to go see live shows, but there's a certain aspect of like I have not gone to that many shows, like in the grand scheme of my life. Like I've gone to concerts, but like going out and seeing shows has never been like a real passion of mine. Partially because I get a little bit of anxiety being around crowds of people. I mean, it's not like agoraphobia, Michael Jackson type shit, but I've turned down going to see shows just because I was like, God, I don't feel like getting out tonight. I'm talking like I missed out on going to see the Mars Volta at War Memorial. I missed out on going and seeing them Crooked Vultures at the War Memorial.
Was a
like
good show.
that was a good show.
great show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And both of you, and I mean, I had free tickets to both of those. and it was one of those
There
things
weren't even that
where
many people there, man.
yeah,
Sorry to tell you.
yeah, to the them crooked vultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
you know,
really
and,
good.
and in hindsight, I really regret not going. But at the same point in time, I know that there's that's part of my personality is like I tend to stay home more than I probably should. But what is it?
No mo FOMO.
Like yeah, right, like where does that come from of just having that passion of going out and seeing live music and getting out and being in it? I mean, I never regret going and seeing a show.
I just don't think there's an experience that replaces it.
I mean, I agree with that.
I mean, I think that's it. I think it's for me. It's that simple. You know, it's a once every show is different, and every experience and every person in that room's having a different experience, and you're never gonna recreate it. You know,
Right.
It's a one-time deal. So just get off your ass and go.
That I've
You
been
know?
told that many a
You're
times.
You're gonna enjoy it
Yeah.
once you get out there and go. I mean, believe me, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired myself. I don't want to go. I don't want to go out, but boy, when I get there, I'm ready.
I mean, part of
That's
me's
true.
in the kind of the mode. Like I've been of recent trying to think of if things come across my way, if I'm not just like completely like, oh hell yeah,
Right.
I'm not gonna do it. But and like there's granted I'm not like taxes. Oh hell yeah, and obviously I still haven't done it. But it's just like it's one of those things where you're like, but when it comes to like going and doing things, I'm trying not to give myself shit for being like, no, I just want to stay home and edit video,
No,
or I
that's-
want to
that's
come.
normal.
That's just that is normal. But then at the same time, but it's trying not to. Like I guess it's completely different when you're just like, oh, I don't want to.
It needs to be an easy experience too.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's just such a insane pain in the ass, and so I think for me, it's easy to go see a show.
Right.
Like,
Especially now.
right. That's exactly like I'm gonna either I have a parking spot that I know of that nobody else does, or more than likely now I'm gonna Uber. I'm gonna walk through the front door and know where to go stand, and
Yeah.
so I think that's probably a
Don't
big,
have to pay for your beer.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's pretty easy.
Okay.
man,
Yeah, I
to go
mean,
see a show.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
okay,
absolutely.
aside from the Ryman, because we know, what's one of your favorite places in town to go see a show other than a place you own?
Oh, that's not fair, man.
Sure it is.
Exodus is the most fun place. To
I
see
know,
a
but
show.
you're not allowed to see. We know what the answer is, and that's the best part. Is I know what my answer is, and I've seen the coolest shows I've seen. Can either fall under, of course, like I said, the Ryman, Exit or Marathon Music Works. Like there's a couple that have fallen under a couple other places, which are I think there's a lot of great venues in town. But seriously, the best shows. If I had to go like top 10 best shows I've ever seen in town, it's gonna land on maybe Windows on the Cumberland. Is
Yeah.
gonna fill in a couple
It
other
is.
blanks.
I love a packed out basement, like OG basement, like assholes to elbows. That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
When there's 30 people in there, it's packed.
No,
and I know it's not
I'm
packed out.
talking
It's
I'm
like
talking
yeah,
200
it's,
people.
it's full,
when they're breaking
full.
when they're breaking code.
Or however many is legal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the basement, man. That's a
Man,
lot
I'll
of fun.
tell you what, I really like what they've done at Third and Lindsley.
Yeah, man.
The expansion on that.
Yeah, when
It's
I
a
went,
nice
I went and
place.
saw Robert Ellis there when he was in
Yep.
town last time, and he did just a duo of just him and his. I've seen him there twice actually. One was a Nashville Sunday night with his full band, but he came back through town and just did a show with just him and his guitar player, just the two of them. And man, it was killer. It was, but I like being the fact that there's so many tables. It's like a different vibe. I mean, I guess maybe it's because I'm getting old. I'm like, oh, I like kind of sitting down.
No,
and
it's
having
hard
a
to stand
table.
up.
Yeah, standing up for a whole damn show is
And sometimes it's hard
exhausting.
sitting down for a full interview. I got up
Yeah.
and saying, I'm like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
no, I got to
Ooh,
readjust
there's
that
my
right
toes.
I like Public Square Park for a show. I mean,
Or a wedding.
and a
What
wedding.
public Square Park?
Live on the Green.
You've
Oh,
you've
gotcha.
You've probably never been.
Yeah, no, I've been to
Yeah.
Live on the Green. Actually, I think the only Live on the Green I've
You've-
been to is the one that I played at.
Okay.
I think the best part is that with Cobb right here, you've probably played at either maybe not Marathon yet.
I mean, I played.
But
I
every
played
you've played Exit
outside.
in.
I played in the
dancing.
parking lot.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, let's
I
say
played
that.
in the parking lot
That's
at
fair
the
enough.
marathon.
That definitely counts.
So okay. So you've played at like every either establishment or festival or type event that you've had, like between Dancing with the District, Live on the Green, the behind Jackson's, what you were
Thing at
talking
I don't know.
about.
Jackson's.
You might be the
When
only.
the,
You might be the only person
Exodus.
alive that played Village Vibes at Jackson.
Not the only person.
And
There's at least
and-
5
no,
other
no,
people,
hear me
4
out.
other
Hear
people
me
I
out.
know.
Hold on.
And Live on the Green.
Yeah.
And Marathon Music Works.
Yeah.
And Exit In.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Who else? Anybody you know
I don't know.
played all those?
I don't know.
Maybe-
No.
Did you have any?
Maybe Chris West.
Did you ever? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Chris West.
Twice around.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you ever,
I can't wait to have that
did,
guy
Did
on,
you have
man.
ever any hand in Uptown? It was an Uptown. What wasn't that thing on Uptown Mix? Wasn't that what that was called?
I saw the Flaming
played
Lips
at City
there
Hall.
Yeah, me too. That was a phenomenal show.
Played at City Hall as well.
Jeez.
with Mile 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was for the Nat. When we won the best local band for national scene vote or something, and we played with. It was when the Pink Spiders or what the Pink. What was that?
It's Pink Spiders.
Pink Spiders.
Spiders.
Jeff Coffin.
Man.
Yeah, it was a good. I've got the poster up in my house somewhere.
Cool.
We played right before the Pink Spiders. They let us go. They had all the bands, and then it was us, and then Pink Spiders closed the night out, and we were like, okay, what can we do? And so we did Bohemian Rhapsody, and
Perfect.
we came back, and the looks on those guys' face were just kind of like, how the fuck do we follow that? God damn, guys!
The
Of
Jimi
course, they
Hendrix
had all
approach.
their
I
fans.
love it.
They had all their fans there and whatnot. So we didn't put a rein on their parade, but
That'd
they-
be a cool
they-
poster
yeah.
though to have in your house.
That's
We
kinda
got
funny.
we got a Here Come the Mummies Live on the Green poster at our house, which is a lot of fun with HBeam on it.
do
which
you
is
have
really
another one of
cool.
those posters?
No. No. Psh.
I do.
What's one? Yeah. Okay.
Do you
so
have an
he-
extra
he's
one of
got
those?
some-
I do.
You've got.
I would love to have one of
phenomenal-
those.
I got you.
You have a phenomenal poster collection, concert poster collection.
Yeah.
Do you have any prize posters that are it for you?
Do you frame them, hang them up?
Some
Or
of
they-
them, some of them get framed. I got this, big art portfolio thing that I just stuff them all in. I don't know that any. Let's see, prized posters.
Do you,
One that
do you
just
get them
love
signed?
seeing, the one that just.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would.
sometimes. Sometimes
I would.
I like them.
I've never been
I
into
like 'em better
signatures.
unsigned.
Yeah, I've never been big into signatures. I'm just it just doesn't.
Sometimes I like to have them, but most of the time I'm like, meh. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a sweet old Shooter Jennings poster from I think Exit In, just with the bird on it, and there's some amazing. I don't know. We keep going back to Guar, but some of the Guar posters are the best for obvious reasons. So I don't know. It's not like I have any one prize that I value them, but what I like to do, because I'm, get some weird sentimental rat problem, is I just get them out once a year and look at them all, which takes 2 hours, and then I just put them back.
That's cool.
And then in a year again or so, I'll have a
That's
minute
fun.
and I'll just do that, and it reminds me of all these shows and
now
all
you
these
get-
crazy people.
And now you get to include Bob, your son, in that. Correct?
he
in
doesn't
that.
give a shit about most of those posters.
But I'll bet you then. I bet you the next time you pull those posters around, because he's getting all into rock and roll
Yeah,
and
well,
guitar
he's cherry
playing.
picked a few of the
and
cool ones. He's got a Run the Jewels signed poster on his wall in his bedroom, which
That's
is just
this kid is
awesome.
Bob Cobb is one of the coolest kids in the entire world.
He's got,
I mean,
he's got
he's a
that.
g-
He's got a signed Proto Men stop sign. Did you see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did. And I
Actual
asked-
stop sign
yeah.
signed by
Wow.
all
Wow.
the Proto Men.
That's
So,
pretty,
how
that's pretty
old's your-
epic.
how old's your
That's
boy?
pretty epic.
9.
So, at what age is in your mind appropriate to start going to shows?
Run the Jewels.
I guess 18 and over, right?
He goes to shows now. The question is, at what age can he start pushing cases? That's the real question.
Well, at what age can he start working?
Yep. No, he goes now, man. He goes to Live on the Green. He comes.
So
he
how
does
do you-
some sound checks?
So
Yeah.
what do you have
yeah.
to? Did you have to have conversation then with him of when he starts getting exposed to some of these things? Has he seen a Guar show yet?
No.
Okay, good. Has he seen a Run the Jewels show? Or has he
No,
listened? Has he listened to Run the Jewels?
A little bit. There's not much that he. That
So
I've-
then,
that
how,
I've-
okay, that's what I mean. So then, how does he know? Just so he knows Run the Jewels because he's got a Run the Jewels poster. Like, what capacity does he know Run the Jewels? That's not 9-year-old material.
Well, there's
It's-
that Call Ticketron track that's like we listen to a lot of satellite radio.
Okay. So there's edited.
Well, it's satellite, so it's not edited, but that track is as clean as they only say fuck like 8 times.
Fair enough. No, that's under the margin.
Have you
That's
seen
under-
their new video yet?
Uh-uh.
Oh man,
It's good. Yeah.
It's for the track on obviously their newest record where it's like it sounds like the live at the or the like.
It's called that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Called
yeah.
Ticketron.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, the video is dope.
Yeah.
It's like a Usual Suspects like
Yep.
lineup thing going on.
Awesome.
It's cool, man.
It sounds
It's
really,
cool
really
video. I
cool.
love those guys.
So what do you? I mean, but okay. So he's exposed. What's your take on that kind of like exposure to those things? Do you have to prep him in something? Do you have to do a lot of explaining as a parent to, or do you just kind of, does he kind of know that there's a place for that?
Probably not as much as I should.
Don't mean to call you out or like.
No, dude, I'm
it's
not.
important. I'm asking
worried
from
about
a
it.
parent standpoint
Yeah.
because my daughter is probably going to be exposed to a lot of stuff that not every. I don't know if we should put it as every kid shouldn't be, but they're like the same ways I was. I was exposed. I saw Blazing Saddles when I was like 11 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
it-
saw.
and
I
you
listened to
came out
Steve Martin.
fine.
To depends who you ask.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like I'm very grateful that when I was 8 years old, I listened to Mel Brooks' 2,000-Year-Old Man and Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Guy, and like that's where my first like sex talks came from,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. When it
Yeah.
came to like Steve Martin talking and like about lube material or to like, and you start learning what these different things are. And I don't remember my parents ever having a real conversation, except we had a rule that if we heard about my little brother, because he had to watch the same stuff we were. So when I'm like 9 listening to this stuff, he's 6.
Does explain a lot.
He's screwed up though. So that's not, I'm kidding, Topher. Come on, he's doing great. He's about to get married too.
Congratulations.
To a great girl. That's the best part. He
We
could
should
be.
go canoeing.
That was the worst canoe trip I've ever been on.
Bullshit.
Ever.
It was great.
No, for you, because you weren't in the boat with him. Because his I am going to call him out now because his coordination, this kid, he can't. If you ask him to like beat eggs for it's everywhere. It's just floppy wrist.
That's why you
everywhere.
put him in the front and,
so,
you say, "Don't paddle."
there was no. That didn't even work. He would but the best part, it got to the point where we've probably rolled our canoe. Little backstory: we were on a canoe trip with Boots Hill, owner and proprietor at the time of Windows on the Cumberland, and old Cobb and his wife Talisha were with us. Who else was with us? There was another couple with us, wasn't there?
Yeah, man.
It doesn't. Regardless, so Kelly and Boots. So at this point, Kelly and I had just started dating.
And Boots was not happy about it.
No. But even though this was,
Boots wasn't happy about
but
you
it
and
was-
Kelly
No,
dating?
but it was his
Why is
idea
that?
because he had been pushing it for months.
Then why
like we
wasn't he
should.
happy about
Well,
it?
I think-
Because
I think
he was in
fine
love.
I think he was fine with you guys dating, but he didn't want to lose his
Canoe partner. That was exactly what I was going to say.
Ah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And so he had to continue. So Kelly, but the thing was, he even says to this day is one of the coolest things I ever did was still just been like, yeah, man, cool, whatever. She's your canoe partner.
Yeah.
And so I did. But so to get a partner, I'm like, Topher, come on. Let you be my. It's first time I ever
I don't
canoe.
want to paddle with Topher.
and so he has a good impression. So Topher, whenever he would switch
Right.
sides, he'd throw his entire body over. And because we're with Boots, and if I have to preface it by saying that we were not in a sober mind
Sure. Why would you be canoeing?
with Boots.
Yeah.
But with canoeing in general, but with Boots especially, it's like 10x that, and you're to where you typically are with Boots Hill, paddling a canoe. And Topher just cannot keep it together every time. And I mean, within the first 30 minutes, I
Oh
think
my
we had
God.
we'd flipped our canoe probably 6 or 7 times.
Oh
It just
my
wasn't. We
God.
moved, and the thing is, everyone else started getting a little pissed. Because
Yeah.
the first couple times it was cool, it was hilarious, but then we had to move our cooler over to someone else's. Like we had to keep moving our stuff off of because he just could not keep it together, and
Why? Yeah.
he can't. When it comes to he can play. If you hand him an instrument,
He can play it,
30 minutes later he's gig ready.
but he can't hammer a nail.
Can't hammer a nail, can't paddle a canoe, can't can't make some pancakes without making a friggin' mess. And
I mean,
it's-
but when you're canoeing, it is the job of the person in the back.
he was in the front the entire time.
You could have told him to just like,
Dude,
anytime that I've had to take on
Okay.
a newbie in my canoe,
Adam, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I did because I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
like even when I take my wife now canoeing, I'd say, look, you can just sit up front and you don't gotta do shit. I got this.
Even
I
sitting
got
there not
this.
doing
Yeah.
shit, he
My dog
managed
is
to
right.
tip us
Like
over.
doing this
I'm
and
just
like,
telling
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it got to the point where it was just ridiculous. It was too much.
Y'all are
Remember,
going like this
No,
down the
it
river,
wasn't fun.
left
It
to the
wasn't
right.
fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. What can I
Remember,
say?
oh,
Great
man.
memories, but not fun. And then the best part is that afterwards, we all went to the Mexican restaurant on 4th Avenue. Isn't that right? That was right next to the Rutledge at the time. I'm trying to remember what name that. Didn't you? Because you don't know because we all really can't remember.
thought we
but
went to
Boots
O'Charlie's.
drove.
Oh, Charlie's is definitely
go
not
to
a Mexican restaurant.
Maybe you guys went to
No,
O'Charlie's.
here's what happened.
We went to O'Charlie's.
Boots is like, I'm gonna take you all to my secret spot. Nobody knows. My
You know, I
spot.
think you're right. Either way, I
am
don't. Then
right.
I don't remember.
And he took us to O'Charlie's, and he's like,
buttery rolls.
He's like, I come here by myself all the time. To
It's my
O'Charlie's.
secret
My
spot.
secret spot.
Oh,
And we're
man.
like, okay. And
Once-
he ordered a steak
That's hilarious.
at O'Charlie's and ate the whole thing. And then the party was over. And then the next day, I talked to Boots, and I'm like, man, O'Charlie's, huh? And he's like, what are you talking about?
And he probably drove us. He
did.
drove us to
and ate an
O'Charlie's.
entire steak.
Oh, what are you talking about?
But the thing is, Boots,
man.
like when your canoe hit the shore, you're done.
Yeah.
You blacked out. You just didn't remember the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like
Ugh.
Wow.
Good times,
Tipping the
I think.
canoe multiple times.
just
Yeah, I would have left you. I would have been like, peace
it
out.
was thought.
Don't drown.
We probably only went like a mile and a half.
Oh, look it. It says just you and Talisha went to O'Charlie's.
Thank you,
I
Kelly.
think you two that's
pretty-
what it was.
I'm pretty sure
We-
Boots was there, Kelly.
I don't know. I do remember that now that I'm thinking that we got to the Mexican restaurant and we were like, where the hell? So maybe someone, I don't know.
Maybe I ate the
Maybe
steak.
you ate the steak.
Do you have your own boat? Do you have your own canoe?
Yeah, we had a canoe and a kayak.
You do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
it.
actually thinking of,
Did you get
we were going to
one?
get a
Gotta get a
kayak.
canoe.
You know what? I just went on I figured out who Laird Hamilton was. Y'all familiar with him?
No.
He's a professional surfer, but he's the
Oh,
guy
yeah,
that basically
yeah.
popularized paddleboarding. Not paddleboarding.
Big wave surfing.
Yeah,
right?
paddleboarding. Yeah, big wave surfing. But he does. Oh no, did we just lose our? I think we lost our feed.
We lost our feed. We can keep talking because we can record, but we just won't be live.
Oh no, we're good. We lost our Wii feed whatever.
Apple TV feed.
Can you hear me eating the Gardettos or not?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
It's
sorry.
all right.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
They're really good. It's worth it.
I just realized earlier
just wanna
you could
make
like
sure we
hear
can
me
see all the
scratching my
comments.
beard.
Oh, really?
Whatever.
It's slapdash.
Whatever.
But it's time for a little bit of.
Yeah, I'm about ready. Jesse Meeks posted a picture going canoeing, and I was like, last summer was the first summer in probably 5 or 6 years that I have not put my boat in the water.
Oh, man. Gotta go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, guess what?
That will not be the case this year for sure.
It's time for a segue. And that's it.
There we go. We're back.
Welcome back, folks.
Welcome back.
Oh man,
But
this,
I think I'm gonna
this
get. I think,
double scatterbrain packs a little punch.
I'm just telling you. So, honey,
It packs a little punch.
honey, I think I'm staying at the Cobbs tonight. Just letting you know.
Good thing there's a couch here. I might
Oh,
just
it's here.
sleep. I might just
sleep.
sleep. I
Might
just
just
might
sleep
sleep
here.
here on the couch.
And I think the best part was I'm sitting at the dinner table with Kelly tonight before I head over here, and I was just like, I'm like, whenever I drink, whenever I'm doing one of these podcasts, I feel like I'm not as fresh with the interview, and I'm not with it and everything. I'm like, I think I need to
Dude,
I don't do well. And I'm
you are
like, and then
you are
you
so fresh, man.
You show up with that bag, and I'm like, because he was like, because she asked, she's like, did you get any beer? Are you bringing beer? And I'm like, no, he doesn't like any of the beer I drink anyway, and I don't know what he drinks. It's like, I never know. It's like either a sour or a brown or something like that. So, and then you show up with that awesome cooler, and I'm like, well, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
And you are fresh, very fresh.
Well,
I try to be as
it's
fresh as
looking
I
like
can.
we're getting close to the 2-hour mark.
Wow.
Let's see.
Already?
Where are we? I think we're at an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I guess
Oh,
we got.
no,
Yeah,
no,
we're getting
we're
close
at
to.
2
Yeah, we're out
hours.
right at
Man.
2 hours.
Wow.
Time is flying.
I went quick.
Yeah. I mean, we can keep talking, but you know.
Although, no, we got to ask some questions. We got a couple questions.
Couple of questions.
You do?
Yeah, we just know that this is going to have to be another interview at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe.
possibly so.
Okay, so my
100. I'll come back for 100.
Well, all right, we're trying. We're trying.
Okay.
We're trying to
Sounds
develop a list of questions that we ask on the like 5 questions.
Yeah,
Good
I got you.
questions. The rapid fire that we ask our
Rapid fire.
Well, as rapid fire as
we're
it
going to
can
ask
be.
them rapid fire. You don't have to be rapid fire.
So the first one that we came up with is
that's a good. I like that question.
That's a pretty good question. Is all right. So pizza, hot dog, or hamburger?
Pizza.
Where's your favorite pizza here in town?
Manny's.
Manny's.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Manny's.
yeah.
Where's Manny's Pizza?
In the arcade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Man, like that's deep in the heart of Nashville, right there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I thought.
What's
Okay, speaking on the eatery thing, so off the beaten path, because I know you and your family frequent a lot of the ethnic eateries on Nolensville. So I'm just going to say up and down Nolensville Road. What's your jam right now? What's the best restaurant on that ethnic side of Nolensville?
Ooh, man, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I know what my answer is.
There's some good ones. So
'Cause everyone knows about Husk and Rolf and Daughters and all that kind of thing, but where do you go in Nolensville?
Taj.
Yeah, okay.
I don't
Taj
know.
is pretty good.
I like Taj.
Taj is pretty daggum good.
I found a new crack chicken joint, man.
So you were telling me.
Golly.
Crack chicken, just so people know, is that butcher, the carniceria on Harding Place, right off the 24 exit, with the huge smokers out front that are just going all the time, cooking that chicken.
Smoking
It smells so
chicken.
good. You can walk right up and get your $2 tacos right at the walk up.
Well,
little counter right there.
it's $11 for a whole bird, a bag of tortillas, a pint of beans, and the Roja and the Verde salsa. Right, man? $11. Yeah, that's right. Shoot, and I found a new one, dude. So we call it crack chicken for obvious reasons, but it's kind of a Wahlberg Cobb tradition that we need to pick back up.
Yep.
But man, God, I took a picture of it so that I would remember the name. And
Get the Livingstons involved in it too.
So I have this. I want to make my buffalo smoked chicken sandwich that I came up with. That I told you about. Yeah,
said
right.
So wait, is that the one that's right over there by where we used to live
Okay.
on Wheeler?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great place.
It's like, you been in there?
Yeah.
It's like a food truck that's
Yeah.
broken down, that's turned in.
Okay, now wait a minute. You're talking about the one that's down closer to the zoo.
I am.
Okay, that
Yeah.
place is great.
You been in there too?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a food truck that's parked. The tires are flat.
Yeah.
And it faces in, and it's this little makeshift restaurant.
Wow.
And it used to be a gas station, right? And they
It was something, yeah.
Yeah.
El Tapatio.
I'm gonna have to check that place.
You got to
out.
check it out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Brush up on your Espanol.
yeah, you need to
Un
it
poquito
helps.
español.
It totally
Un
helps in there.
poquito.
Taco, Mexican Coke.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
See.
I got it.
So, if you had your last day in Nashville,
Describe your last day in
yeah,
Nashville.
from morning to
What?
breakfast the next day, what is
Your perfect day.
What is your perfect day? It's your last day. You're leaving town. You're not coming back for a long time.
And I'm done packing and
Done
mowing the
packing.
grass.
You get
Yeah.
a full day to
Because
do
I've
what-
moved before
and you
I
have-
remember how it went.
You can do whatever you want to do.
just your-
You can go to whatever venue you want to go to see whatever band you want to see.
Your perfect day in
Yeah,
Nashville.
perfect day in Nashville.
Golly, that's a great question. That's hard. Probably hit Radnor.
Yeah.
Probably hit Radnor.
We've had that come up a couple times. That's
Yeah,
good.
Go
Okay,
for a little
good.
hike at Radnor Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Fat Moe's.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
There
Not
you
far
go.
from Radnor.
Go do the hike. Go get the burger.
Okay.
Is that your favorite burger in town? I mean, is that like when you're craving a burger? Is that where you go?
I
That's the
don't
best
think
drive-up
it's
burger.
the
That's the best
best
drive-up burger in
hamburger
town.
in town.
It's a good drive-through burger for sure.
But Saturday, maybe feeling a little wonky.
Yeah.
It's right down the street.
They got them,
I mean,
and they hook you up.
the
They don't
the
skimp on the
Cajun
Those
fries.
Armenian,
fries,
they're Armenian, right?
they
Those
don't- yeah.
Armenian burgers.
They
don't,
do not skimp on anything.
Dr. Pepper, and
You get a little sweat. There's a little
Big ol'
sweat in those
Yeah.
patties. That's
good.
good
Truth.
stuff.
Fat Moe's is a good call.
I think I'd probably I'd probably have to go honky tonkin' at night. That may
Really?
not be a popular answer, but last day in Nashville.
What
You go
honky tonks you
honky-tonk?
going to on Broadway?
I mean, you got to hit Layla's, right?
If that's I'd say Roberts.
I say
You
Roberts.
gotta hit Roberts.
I'm a
But
Roberts
Layla's,
fan.
that's cool that you said Layla's too. That's right. I mean, Layla's and Roberts. It's
Right
just
next-
Roberts is to me. It's like if Roberts is you can't get in, you go to
Yeah.
Layla's.
Fair enough.
That's where I typically go. But you're gonna find good stuff and good hot dogs outside either way.
Other than that, I don't know.
So okay, so you went and saw. Okay, so you're at. So next morning, where are you gonna go hit that breakfast to shake off the last day, and then you're heading out of town?
Elliston Place Soda Shop.
Whoa, that's keeping in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Man, I dig it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know how you can rate those
Well,
answers.
those
that's a
are well,
good
those
answer.
are answers of someone who's lived in this town for
Nashville
a long time. Absolutely, 100%.
I
Fat
love it.
Moe's. That's a good one.
I
Man,
get the,
I-
I get the little Moe's.
fuck that. Go for
So-
the big one.
So your
Go
wife.
figure. Go
So
home,
we're
man.
okay. So segue. So you excluding your wife for this next question, who we're going to have to probably get on this podcast at some point because we're just interviewing great people in Nashville, and you're very, as far as I'm concerned, fortunate to be married to such an incredible woman as Mama T.
I would have to agree.
Yes, you will have to
And-
agree.
and that-
It's a
and
good idea
Probably be
to.
a much better podcast than this one. But
I think equally they will rival. They're going to have the same kind of viewership. There's some thumbs up, I think, from right there. From
a few.
that's Mayor. That's old Mayor right there, Mayor Camusa. So
What do you like most about your wife, Chris?
that's a good. Let's do that question
Question
before we go to
from
the
your-
next one because the next one's
her passion.
There you go.
indeed. It's contagious, in the best ways possible. But speaking of passion and people who are influencing this city, like your wife is, and yourself, who else do you think in Nashville right now are big influencers in the direction that you want to see it going? Because it's
Oh,
going in a lot of directions, but you got a couple people, or maybe even just one, or what the ideal right now that we're looking for in Nashville? Who's pushing forward a good future for this city?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question, man. Put me on the spot with a tough one. Man, I don't know. You have to give me a minute on that one.
Well, in that minute, because we're in the midst of a lot of change,
Yep.
and you and your wife are both centered or have positioned yourself within that change to make sure that you're advocates for respect to what has been the history of Nashville while keeping it going. Because you're accepting, as far as I'm concerned, it's looking at it as like you're accepting that there are things that are going to change, there are things that are going to expand, there are things that are, there are things that are gonna happen, but you're going to influence it in a direction that it's going to at least maintain some of that same kind of history and energy and the story of Nashville. Like, are there people that you're teaming with or working with that are, or what do you think needs to happen in the next couple of years to make sure Nashville remains having that independent voice, especially in the music, I guess maybe in the music scene?
Well, we gotta, we need to have a livable city, and there needs to be a focus on making Nashville a great place to live. And I think there's been a lot of focus on making Nashville a
great place to visit.
and a great place, maybe to have a corporate headquarters. But it needs to be a great place to live for like normal folks like us. I mean, I live in the neighborhood here. It'd be great to have some sidewalks. It'd be great to
Amen.
have some parks. It'd be great to have
Better public transportation.
well, yeah, schools.
Well, our guy
yeah.
Anthony Simpkins, who filmed the Live Damn It Live concert we just did, he just put a documentary out that's basically about the Music City Star
Yeah.
and how it's like this weird situation where it's like it's kind of like it's the direction the city needs to go, but it's not going in that direction.
Well, like
No,
we mentioned,
At least that's
schools,
that's what I grabbed
So
from what
I've
I
lived
saw.
in and around Nashville my whole life, and like McGavick High School, Hillsborough High School, Overton High School, Hillwood High School. What are some of the other like public? Help me out. Is there another? Just those four in and of itself. Those schools are so incredibly old.
Yeah, oh,
like
yeah, man.
just the actual buildings
Oh, yeah.
are I mean, Hillsborough High School is in the heart of Green Hills, which is the heart of like some of the biggest, that's a expensive area of a town to live in, and the public high school that is zoned for there is falling apart.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it doesn't make any
It's
sense.
the only
to
thing
me.
it's like out of place.
Yeah,
in
it
that,
just doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense that like Overton High School doesn't have a better like, and I know that Hillwood is about to actually move. They're
But the cars dropping those kids off look great.
yeah, right. But
Yeah.
well, the Hillwood is I think moving to Bellevue. Like they're building a new
Oh, really?
Hillwood.
Really?
I believe so.
Crazy.
I heard that because they're just moving it down the road and they're building a new Hillwood High School. But I mean, absolutely. I don't understand how the Nashville is growing so much, but like the infrastructure of like especially the school systems is kind of like dog shit.
Yeah, it is. I think we have some we have some good leadership in the city. I mean, to try to answer your question about who's doing good things, I think after a second of thought, I mean, I think the first place I go is local government. I don't know if that was the intent of the question. but,
Sure.
there's some good city council folks trying to do the right thing, and I think that Mayor Barry tries to do the right thing a lot of times.
It's a good
I don't
answer.
think she always gets it right, but
She's trying to appease a lot of people.
everybody is. So there's give and take, and there's wins and losses, and and I don't think you're never gonna find anybody that you agree with everything that they do.
Sure.
Right, but if it's the goods outweigh the bads, then I think you got to win. So I don't know. I think we got some good leadership in this town. On like a privatized level, I'm gonna give a shout out to Lightning 100.
Absolutely.
After a little bit of thought, I mean, I think that's a local company that is really good for the city. That's really authentic. That's locally owned. That's locally operated. It's a
It's what a radio station
crazy-
should be.
It's
Are
a
they-
crazy like family?
Yeah.
And so-
and they do a great thing for the city. They make it a better place to live.
Sure.
Maybe you can help us get Lieutenant Dan on. We knocked around the idea.
We'll get him on.
We've been wanting
We'll
to get.
I
like,
know
we
that
knocked
Adam,
around ideas.
Adam
like,
said
we're
he'll
like,
come
we'd
up. Adam
love-
from Lightning said he'd come up here.
Adam
and hang out.
Culver?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
would
yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd love to have him come
Anytime
in.
you can give him a chance to talk, he'll
Yeah,
talk.
right? Oh.
He's a good talker. He's a
That'd
good
be
talker.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
I love Lightning 100. That's the only station I listen to. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
that or NPR, as far as I'm concerned, on my radio.
only thing
front.
I'm listening to.
Hold on, I had a really good question. This is why you can't drink
No,
beer while
no,
you do.
no.
correct the
It's
second- I
towards
know.
the end of the night.
I
It's
know.
all good. It's all good.
I lost it. I totally lost it. I had an attachment to that, but it's not important.
How do you
I
feel
guess.
about the growth that's happened here, though? I mean, you've been here long enough to see. I mean, you go back to Nashville is a drastically different town than it was in 2000.
Yeah, I mean, I started coming here in the '80s.
Right.
I remember when they found the Predator.
Yeah.
To build a
And then we get a hockey team a decade later.
yeah,
2 decades later.
Yeah. Man, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I'm not gonna just sit around and bitch like growth's a bad thing, because I don't think it is. And I personally have been fortunate because of it to some extent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't think that that this city was going to support Marathon Music Works 10 years ago the way that
Right.
it does now, and a lot of that's because of population growth. So you know, look, nothing stays the same. It's either growing or dying. I would much rather the city be growing than dying.
Yeah.
But I would much prefer some smart growth.
Yeah, there's some things that can
over-
die along the way if you grow in a certain way.
A lot
without,
has.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. You know, a lot of the soul of this city has been demolished and replaced by some condos that are going to be so ugly in 10 years that nobody's going to want to look at them.
or in a couple of years, or even just right off the bat.
Yeah,
But we're holding on pretty good. Before the podcast, we were talking about a few things that are sticking around.
Man, I'm
little
totally,
gems.
Look, I love this town.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pumped.
absolutely.
Yeah, regardless of everything, that's what I keep telling. Regardless of how big it's grown, it has still hung on to a lot of cool things. And if Station Inn has hung on as long as it has in
Yeah.
the Gulch, with everything that's going on in Nashville Gulch, it's fine.
Hopefully, we're
Like,
doing
it's-
all
It's about the people, man.
It
There's
needs, but
great
it doesn't mean it's
people
going
in
to take
this-
work.
in
It
this
doesn't mean it's still
town.
going to be. It's dependent on, like you said, the people. It's dependent on the great people in this town that care enough to make sure that we're keeping some of these things alive, that we're supporting these things. Like there's a lot of people that have vested interest, regardless if it's money or time or passion or experience in different venues, in different places of town, in different neighborhoods, in different schools. Like there's enough of that prevalent in everything to make sure that everyone kind of keeps it going. Whereas that's the bonus, I think, from being in a town that's this tight knit. Because even though it's still expanding, you still don't say anything bad about anybody because they're going to hear about it.
We're just ramping up for the singularity moment.
Yeah, where it all just kind of
Where it all, because it, you know, and the
crossover
yeah, the
into
crossover
into the next
digital age of
being
uploading our consciousness to
Nashville is
where
regardless.
there's no traffic.
Well, regardless of that, Nashville, I think, is still a very cool place to live and be. And Chris Cobb, you make it you help encourage it and maintain it as being a very
Absolutely.
cool place to be. You do
I
a
mean,
lot of cool things for a lot of people here. That
You can play coy about it, but you have been at the heart of the music scene in this town for the last 15 years.
Well, I feel very fortunate
Like
to have
very
been there.
much at
It's
the heart
awesome.
of it. Like very much at the heart of it. I mean, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up. Like the connection of me play. Like I've played
Every single
a
thing.
big huge part of my life is playing live music, and you have been in some form or fashion involved in that. Like one of my fondest memories of playing, some of my most fondest memories of playing music have been involved with things that you have been a part of. We did our live DVD at the Exit Inn. We playing the live on the green with Matt. Like it's pretty awesome. Like I didn't even think about that before the show.
Yeah, I had my first break as a band, like my first big chance as a band when you gave us the chance to open up for Benevento Russo Duo. Like that was product of me coming into Exit In, just being introducing myself. Hey, if you got something, and that was the thing. Countless times I've gone into places and been like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I do this, I like your place, blah, blah, that's it. And then, let me know if you got something. And never hear anything back. But you seriously, a month and a half later, after coming in and just saying, here's what I do, this is what we do, okay, cool, man. You sent me the email. It said, hey, do you guys want to open for Benevento Russo Duo? So it's just you care. And it's obvious that you care, and you've impacted Adam's musical career, you've impacted my musical career, you've impacted a lot of people in this town, and like Adam said, it's absolutely amazing that that for our 10th episode, we get to have here someone who's been a staple of the community here in Nashville for well over 10 years, and
17.
17 years?
I mean, it's 2017. You've been doing your thing
Yeah,
since 2000.
I guess so.
Ish.
Oh,
That's hard to say when you. That's hard to digest when you put it that way, huh?
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Word. get out of another beer.
So if
right?
you could, if
Especially one of these
he's
double
dancing.
scatterbrains, man, this thing is fucking
it's
delicious.
intense, isn't it good? So I like double.
And this is
IPA.
in Nashville. This is the Nashville Bearded Iris Brewing. I haven't seen these guys
Who's your favorite brewery right now?
in town.
Ooh.
I mean,
You
that's
threw
I
me
mean
in
that's
town. It
putting
is Nashville. It's-
I mean, that's
yeah,
putting
yeah.
you on
Yeah,
I'm putting you on blast, but you know,
Hey, step
black
up the game.
competition, step up your
Because
game.
if you're not, you got to become his favorite
Yeah, right.
brewery in town.
Black Abbey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Black Abbey's brewing the best beer right now.
What's your favorite beer that they're brewing?
I like the special that's out right now. I get it at Martin's on Wednesday afternoons, Belmont Boulevard.
Well, head on down to Martin's.
Get
Belmont
you some
Boulevard.
barbecue.
Go get you some barbecue.
That's some good
And
barbecue.
go get you. It is.
Good beer, too.
I think that's
That
one of the,
might
that's the
be-
best
I
barbecue
think
in
that
town.
might be the best
as far as
barbecue in
I'm
town.
the
Yeah?
one. Yeah, I think so.
What's second?
There's a place down on Murfreesboro Road, right next to Angelo's Pizza. I can't remember the name of it.
Angelo's is good. I've never been to that barbecue, but I love Angelo's.
That's my
Picnic
jam.
pizza?
Angelo's is my jam.
Cadillac?
Absolutely.
You ever been to Angelo's?
No, but see, you were telling me about it last week.
Angelo's Pizza is by far the best.
But see,
my
we
favorite
just,
pizza.
we
in
just
town.
got
Real
hip,
deal.
We just got hip to Sal's Pizza not too long
Oh,
ago.
man,
too,
Sal's is
so
great,
when we
too.
moved
Sal's
out
is
here,
good.
yeah.
Angelo's is definitely better, for sure.
I like Yazoo too.
Yeah.
Gotta love Yazoo.
Oh,
That's
see,
my second place beer.
Yazoo, it's one of those, I'll drink it kind of thing, but I've never been so amped about it. I don't know why, and I
Man,
feel
their
like
winter
a
lager
traitor.
is so good.
I feel like a
I like the
traitor
winter,
to
I like the
Yazoo.
Dose.
Dos Perros and Winter
See,
Lager are my jams.
Dose
yeah.
just doesn't do it for me. I feel like
I was drinking Dos
I
Perros
like
last
their
week.
what's the Hot Project? I like Hot Project.
Yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
like the beer named Sue.
Oh yeah,
um,
very smoky.
Well,
But we had one of Little Harpeth Brewers not too long ago. Ross Welbin, he was on here. Little
Oh,
Harpeth's
yeah.
doing some good stuff.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah.
good
I
beers
met
coming
him,
out of Nashville. You
yeah.
met Ross? Oh, at the
Yeah,
the show.
Yeah.
Very cool.
yeah, yeah.
speaking of which, if you have not checked it out, go to Living Situations socials and find it all. Free Spirit.
Yeah, we
in
got
there.
Free Spirit Suburbia.
The rest of it's coming.
It's just trickling out.
I mean, I ain't got shit to do with it.
Like
My job's done with that.
It is
Like
trickling out.
that's all Matt.
Man, that was a great time.
It was fun.
I had a lot of fun
Really,
doing that,
really
and
great time. My dad was reading the schedule yesterday. He's like, "Oh man, well, they started working on that at 11 a.m. You know, like, it's like to us, it's like, yeah, no kidding, but
Right.
you don't think
Well,
you don't think about this. To most people, they think
I know
you
you're
just show up
saying-
and play. You know,
'cause I had
He's like,
the
did you
schedule-
know they started working on that at 11? I'm like, I figured they would have been there at 9. You know,
well, the best part was it was one of those things too where I showed up and I posted up the itinerary on the day and I did things.
that's
It's
what he
like-
was reading.
Yeah, and it was fun to be able to do another project that had that kind of. You get to do that a lot. You do that a lot,
Right, sure.
And I've gotten to work with you in Texas under your command of putting together a pretty, as far as I'm concerned, a working festival. But it was slapdash.
Ugh.
It's moving amps from venue to
Waymire
venue.
sent me a
So-
photo from that last week.
from when we went.
Yeah, because it was like, I guess it popped up in Facebook like time hop or whatever. It was like 7 years.
Really?
ago. 7 years ago. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. My
Anyway.
mom just got me a new French press. And the thing is, for some reason, whenever I think of French press coffee, I think about
Cassie.
that house that we crashed at, that we would sleep at for like 3 hours a night.
There was a French press there?
Yeah, I remember we brought that French press with the big bag of Costco coffee.
No, dude.
And I remember for some reason it is so impactful on that trip. And also was impactful on that trip was the tattoo I was supposed to get, which I didn't, but the tattoo
Howdy.
you got. Howdy. If we ever end up in Texas again, my friend, I'll get it even bigger letters than I would have.
I don't believe you, dude. You didn't
Trust
go
me.
through it the first time.
No, he didn't have time. He told me he wouldn't have. Oh, man, packing those
Is that
fucking
Mare?
bags. That is no, that's Alex. It's her friend
Oh,
Alex.
that's
But that's
Alex.
me with my receding hairline and
That's
bun.
you. I didn't even know
That's me. Oh yeah,
Your receding
with the
hairline
receded
bun.
hairline and the bun pulled back. That's probably why I lost even more hairs because I kept pulling my hair back in a bun.
Oh,
Here, let's
wow.
show people. Let's just
Can you?
I can show some people.
Back in
All
the
right, I
day.
guess-
Oh, Mayor's there too. Mayor's there watching.
I guess I was. I don't know. I was 30. I think 29, 30.
It's kind of hard to see, but there's old Alex Hatford in the back.
Little glare.
Little glare. But
Well,
you look clean. Look at that.
I know, man.
that.
I still got that shirt.
Well, that was a fun time, but I really think I don't even know where that conversation part or that started or where it went, but as far as I'm concerned, it's been really cool.
You were saying
getting
you're
to
gonna
work
get that
with you.
howdy tattoo.
I'm gonna get that big old howdy tattoo right on my butt.
I can't wait to see that one.
Right on my butt. Well, it was gonna be my first tattoo I was ever gonna get, and we were there, and we
You made the
went-
right choice.
Well,
You made
it
you
was
made the
it
right
was just
choice.
going to be this little text of howdy in rope letter where it was just like if someone asked you, like, you got a tattoo? Yeah. And it was going to be right there on my cheeks, like just like howdy. Like, just like really quick there. And,
Okay,
and,
maybe that was a good
and
idea.
Cobb went and Chris, we went down to the tattoo place because we were going to get it. And the guy did your tattoo and then said, and then they closed. And I'm like, well, I still want to get my tattoo. And he's like, no, we're closed. You'll have to come back tomorrow. I was
Okay,
like, well,
I
we're
think I-
fucking
I think
going
Well, I'll be
till
sober
tomorrow.
then.
I pissed him
I'll
off.
regret
man.
that.
He was
He
not
was-
happy.
He was the.
You do not want to piss off your tattoo artist.
I did.
Here was another one of those great moments, those Chris Cobb moments that I was there for, which I was just like, this guy's a fucking badass. where you were sitting there, and he goes, okay, he's like, I want a tattoo. I want you to do Texas on my bicep. And he's like, but I want you to do it just up and down so I can see it this way. And he's like, well, you should really turn it this way because it's like the sailor tattoo. So the Texas is this way, like
Right.
is this way as opposed to this way where the top's this way. He's like, no, well, I want to see it. And he goes, all right. He's like, well, I should probably just do an outline. No, black it all in. Like that's and he's just like, and
The guy kept arguing with me.
And did you get it that way?
he got it exactly how he wanted it.
It took a while. though.
Freaking Burger King, man, right over here.
It took a
And
while.
It did take a little while.
Yeah.
And I remember that just like he didn't care he knew what he wanted. And he's like, no, I want to be able to see it. I
But
want to
are
look
you
at
really
it.
gonna let somebody else tell you what tattoo to get?
Well, I mean, I will say that tattoo
He's-
artists do
he's
kind
there,
of
an
know,
expert.
like they
There
do
they are.
kind of know what, you know.
It's still cool. Don't get me
Fuck
wrong.
That.
Give me
Fair
what
enough.
I want.
Fair enough.
Give me what I want. Well, Chris, it has been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's
Thanks
been
a lot.
awesome.
Adam's done.
I mean, we could sit here and keep drinking beers for 4 more hours if you want to.
I don't think we can.
I don't know if
Maybe
we're going. I don't know if we're
gonna
gonna
run out of beer.
Yeah, right.
Well, all we know is that we got one last question.
One last
will you
question?
come back and talk with us again sometime?
I told you,
And then we can-
100th
yeah,
episode.
100th episode.
100 episode.
No, man, hit me up. I'm right
episode.
down the street. I
Yeah.
can come anytime.
Please check out Marathon Music Works, Exit In, Hurry Back, and William Collier's. Check out
The Truman in
Nashville.
Kansas City.
all of those are Nashville independent businesses, all part of the Nashville Independent Business Alliance, which is a huge movement here in Nashville, making sure that businesses like Chris is here and other people's thrive and keep making this place awesome. It has made our podcast more awesome. I feel like we are now part of the big league because we've had Chris Cobb here.
Yeah.
And again, thank you to everyone here who's been following along, watching us for the past couple weeks. It's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to episode 100 where we get to have you back. Maybe we can even host it at that point at one of your cool venues or one of your cool spots and do a little remote action there.
Come on.
But to everybody watching, just do you have you seem like a person that just does. You're getting to do a dream, even though it wasn't a planned dream, but you get to pretty much do some pretty cool stuff that I would put under a dream category. If you've got advice to anybody that is getting into, regardless if it's the music business or any kind of business, is there something you can do when it gets hard, is there something that you do to keep you going, or you have no other choice?
No, you just stick with it. Just keep going.
Just like we're going to do with this
that's
podcast,
the
ladies and
answer
gentlemen.
right
Keep
there.
going. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to hit you a little bit with that sweet theme music. And you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we'll see you next week with Adam, who are we interviewing next week?
Jillian St. Clair, owner and proprietor of Steadfast and True Yoga. She's been a staple of the yoga scene here in Nashville for easily 10 years or longer. Owns a great studio. She's one of my favorite people in town, and it'll be a good one.
We're going to do some down dogs next week,
Yeah,
folks.
we're going to do some down dogs.
So that's the plan, and that's what we're doing. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to see you next time. And until next time... Woo! Cannot be stopped. Thanks, Chris.